would also be with us. So we're going to look into this matter and get to hear what the community has done, what they are trying to do, how they've tried to get the government, what the government have or have not done, and what hope is there for people plying the Ngwolo axis of the East-West Road. Don't go anywhere.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeemi Andrew. The Rivers State Police Command says it is wrong for members of crime-affected communities to first run to the press to report crimes instead of the police. The spokesman of the command, Nnamdi Omoni, who was reacting to a situation at Iriebe community in Obiakpo local government area of the state, said residents of the community were alleged to have reported suspicious plots by hoodlums to a radio station, which he said informed the criminals to escape before the arrival of the police. Omoni, who is a deputy superintendent of police, in an interview with correspondent Uchendu Ojowo, said by so doing, plans by security agents to apprehend the criminal before the crime may be defeated.
People are not helping us at all. And you, the press, too, I think you're being complicit because, one, when these matters come up, you don't refer them to the appropriate quarters. If you have any security reports, you should be able to go to the police. For whatever it is worth, the press should be the last option as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that they're noticing some presence of some criminals or some suspicious faces around. They should have gone to the nearest police station to report. As to speak up to now, we still have deployments over there. We still have our men stationed in this troubled area. That Iriebe. Our men are still there. So if for any reason they have reports to make, they should go to the men. Or better still, exploit the option of having our numbers to call us. And not to go to the press. The press, I know we are partners in progress, we're on the same page, but the press should be the last, not the first.
Also, the Commission of Inquiry investigating the violence that occurred during the 2019 general elections in Rivers State have concluded its sitting with about 21 witnesses testifying before it. Our correspondent Uchendu Ojowo understands that the 21 witnesses were drawn from 5 local government areas, including Uyigbo, Kana, Asari Toro, Akuku Toro, and Emoha. The 5-man panel of inquiry led by Justice Monima Danagogo began sitting on the 6th of May and ended on the 15th of the same month at the State High Court in Port Harcourt. Justice Danagogo, in his closing remarks, thanked the people for their patience and cooperation, just as he promised to make their recommendations without fear or favor. Our correspondent reports that the Commission of Inquiry into the violent attack at the River State Judiciary Complex on the 11th of May last year has also concluded its sitting with Chairman of the panel, Justice Simeon Amadi, promising to submit the recommendations to Governor Nyesom Wike before the deadline. And away from that, the Senate has passed the Public Holiday Act Amendment Bill to recognize June 12th as the new Democracy Day. The bill was passed almost 1 year after President Muhammadu Buhari announced that the date would replace May 29 for Nigerians to commemorate the return to the civilian government. While some members of the National Assembly had criticized the president that Democracy Day cannot be changed by just a declaration, others commended his decision. President Buhari's declaration was later approved in the Senate by an act of parliament after the lawmakers considered the bill seeking to amend the Public Holiday Act on Thursday. The bill, which is in concurrence with that of the House of Representatives, will now be forwarded to the President for assent. And the Deputy Speaker of Imo State House of Assembly, Ugonna Ozurigbo, has resigned. The Deputy Speaker tendered his resignation letter today, which was personally signed by him and addressed to the Speaker and members of the State House of Assembly. Ozurigbo explained in the letter that he was resigning to enable him function well as a member-elect of the National House of Representatives. His resignation comes less than 24 hours after 21 out of the 27 state lawmakers served impeachment notices on the Speaker, Acho Hihim, and the Majority Leader, Lugard Osuji, after suspending them. And now on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has declared a national emergency to protect U.S. computer networks from foreign adversaries. Trump signed an executive order which effectively bars U.S. companies from using foreign telecoms believed to pose national security risk. The order does not name any company, but is believed to target Huawei. The Chinese tech giant said restricting its business in the US would only hurt American consumers and companies. Several countries led by the US have raised concerns in recent months that Huawei's products could be used by China for surveillance, allegations the company has vehemently denied. The US has been pressuring allies to shun Huawei in their next generation 5G mobile networks. And that's it on the news update for the hour. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
I'm Tirendu calling from Imo State.
My name is White calling from Bayelsa.
Hello, yes, this is Udwa calling from Akwa Ibom.
My name is John calling from Bayelsa.
Shamaka calling from Abia.
This is Toya calling from Bayelsa. I'm Divine calling from Port Harcourt.
With over 8 million listeners glued to this dial, why not take advantage
Showcase your product
and services to the world with rates that wouldn't break your back?
Visit us at number 1 Today FM Drive off East West Road, Rumekini, Port Harcourt, or our city office, 21 Orobon Crescent, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt.
Give us a call today on
0803 35 57 986 or 0810 128 2937.
We are your number 1 talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
This is today's hustle. One show that embodies objectivity. We raise the bar in examining the good, the bad, the sordid, everything that has to do with society.
In America, you buy a big house and you pay gradually for 30 years of your life. That is politics. In Nigeria, you carry all your salary and go and rent one bad politics.
Everything that has to do with
You
society.
must negotiate. If we don't negotiate, when a man is pushed to the wall, he bounces back with double that much. We have been pushed to the wall.
The Hustle. Every weekday from
1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
on Today 95.1 FM.
Your Premium Talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. 8 minutes past 2 o'clock is what the time is. And you're still listening to today's hustle. Welcome to the second half of the show. My name is Ifeyemi Andrew. And yes, there's a lot we want to talk about on this half. Right, so I told us that on this half of the show, we would be taking a listen or a look at the current situation at the Umpolu axis of the East-West Road. Why? I'll tell you. This is the rainy season. And we know that we've had warnings coming in to this season that River State is among one of those states that would have some areas suffer flooding. Yes. And also, we've also heard NEMA complain that the reason why it's been difficult for them to carry out their activities is because SEMA hasn't really been very active in most of the states in the country. And that's putting much of a burden on them. In this kind of situation, like the one in Umpolu, many have said SEMA could have come there representing NEMA in the state to do something at least for the moment to alleviate the plight of people who are using that road. Because at the moment, the floods are gradually returning. In fact, in the Okpolo axis of the east-west road, traffic jam is serious because of the situation of that road. Also, remember that last year there was heavy flooding in that area, and then the youths had to protest, and that led to the death of one person. Well, to talk about all of this is no other than the Community Development Committee Chairman, Achinike. I wanted to try the last name. I know I couldn't, so I'll just allow you to do it yourself. Please introduce yourself to us.
All right. My name is Orubo Godswill Achinike.
Okay. And we also have with us John Ihua, Secretary, Rivers Civil Society Organization. So you're welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now that we know the guests, let's get straight to business for the day. Dunkpolo axis of the East-West Road. It's not the only bad spot in River State. There are a lot of them. But we're picking that one to represent every other one and just focus on it for the fact that it's been in the news all through last year, coming to now. So I would like to start with you, Achinike. The situation at the moment, just brief us, the situation of the Ukpolu Road at the Ukpolu axis of the East-West Road at the moment.
All right, thank you very much. Like I said, understand, my name is Orubo Godswill Achinike, by the grace of God. I'm the CDC chairman of Ozorumbo community. Taking your question, I tell you the situation of the community and of course the junction, it's so bad. It's very bad that if you come around there to see what is happening there, you will feel for the community. A section of the East-West Road is being completely flooded. Not even a truck can access it as I speak to you now.
Not even a truck?
Not even a truck can access it as I speak to you now.
Well, if you want to see for yourself, well, pictures also have been taken by our news team, so you can get on social media as well and get a view for yourself. Or if you don't want to go to the place yourself to see the situation of things, you can get on social media. Facebook, Today95.1 FM. That is the address. So you're saying that even trucks cannot access. So if trucks can't access it, that means shops around that area would already be closed.
Yet, everything that has to do with business activity within that area is completely shut down. Completely shut down.
And now, how many have said that there's supposed to be some outlet where these waters are supposed to flow through. I remember last year when we first were looking into this, a building was built somewhere that then caused a blockage, and then these waters can flow through how they're supposed to, hence overflooding the road. What steps have been taken by the community to see that they correct whatever might have been done wrongly that is resulting to this? Because it wasn't always like that, was it?
Well, it wasn't always. But like you said, yes, there is this structure within that area. Yes, when they were about putting up this structure as a community, there was a protest, you know, to see that that structure is not sited there. You know, we're on air, we did a lot of things, but because the man who is putting up the structure felt he bought the place, and of course was not sold to him by members of a Bulu community, you know, and then insisted in going ahead to put up the structure, you know, putting deaf ears to our cries and then complaints. It's contributing seriously to the situation there now.
All right. Before we get back to you, let's get over to John Ihua. John, your thoughts on all of this. First of all, generally, many have said that something can be done by state government with regards to the situation at Umpolo Road. Do you agree with that?
Yes. If you watch that particular road, that situation has not been there before. Some people has claimed and also accused the River State government that as a result of the construction work done in that Umpolo Road.
That's the construction of the East-West Road.
No, it's not the construction.
Which construction?
The access road to
that leads to
Umpolo village community.
Yes,
is the cost of that water, you know, trying to cluster in that particular place for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, having said that, my worry is that there has been back and front of blame, state government blaming federal government saying one thing or the other concerning that particular place. But my worry is this: can we continue to blame ourselves on the issue that has taken a life of a Rivers man and also an indigene of Umpolu? That today the matter is before the state CID and the army has also taken action on the matter. So what is all the problem that has, that everybody has decided to keep silent on what has happened in that particular junction? Now, what has led to the death of this young man that last year is because of the same scenario that is playing out now. That the shops, everything, business activities, the livelihood of people are completely shut down, no movement from anywhere. And the people complained and complained and complained and complained, and then finally now took to the streets to say, let's do a peaceful protest that led to the death of that Aleruchi that is still lying today in the mortuary. So my concern is that, do we really have government? That's my concern. Because this back and front of
the blame. Many are saying that. We tried to get in touch with the Ministry of Works, but now no commissioner for that ministry. I think he's now going to become a House of Reps member. So we couldn't get, and the PAMSEC was not available at the time, at least from the information we got from the PRO. So it was difficult to, because we also wanted to get across to them to know what plans they may have concerning that road. The situation as it stands, many are saying that it's a federal road. And like you rightly said, the road that linked from that junction and led into the community is one that's of a state, is a state road. Some people have also tried to put the fact that perhaps the politics in Rivers State between the major political parties could also be contributing to the situation of that Umpolu junction at the moment. I think I should ask you this question, Chinike. The community, the traditional ruler of your community, what steps have you taken to ensure that the state government gets their attention dedicated to the situation in Umpolu?
Yeah, thank you very much. Taking your question, I think I can assure you that a series of letters has been written to the governor, not just my traditional ruler, personally as the citizen chairman. I have also written to the local government council, and of course, like the civil society organization said, concerning the death of a youth from my community, let Arochi Woko, that particular incident happened before the local government council chairman. He was present. Yes,
there.
Of course.
Was he present with regards to the protest, or came separately after he heard of the protest?
No, of course, he came to address our people while we were
on protest.
Yes, he was on ground when that incident took place. Okay. And then thereafter, I have personally written to him to seek audience as a community with him. To look at these whole problems. Because, of course, there is little we can do as a community regarding the situation there. And we are the people suffering there because we reside there.
John, many have said that if the state government making excuses or trying to find reasons why the state government might not be involved in this, perhaps if they do it, their monies, how would they get back the monies? They might not be paid back their monies that they may spend in trying to put these things together. Is it appropriate for a state government to decide to look into a federal infrastructure and say, because of what this is causing to the people around this area, we are going to do this about it? Is it appropriate for a state government to embark on such a project?
Well, of course, like you said, it is all about politics. The politics that is being played in Rivers State has damaged the fabrics that holds us together. I'm telling you this because there are a few things that we know as civil society that we don't like talking on air. If you watch the death of this young man, and we made some letters and then made some move, and then the army responded, there were some people that were requested to come and testify before the army. I decided not to do anything because Probably they believe that this person is of this party, of this person is of the other side. Going back to your question, if you watch some of the roads that have been constructed in the past, were federal government roads, the question is that, are the federal government using this road? The answer is no. It is the Rivers people
that apply that road.
That road. Those who live around the place. Why not, in order to ensure that your people are secured, why not ensure that your people are also is living in peace, to do something about that road? The local government has a role to play. The state government has a role to play. The federal government has a role to play.
You just mentioned the local government. Who is the local government chairman for your area?
Okay, I think Honorable Solomon Eke.
Okay. How involved has he been? John, I'd like you to come in here. The local government, I think you should answer first, actually. Okay. The local government chairman, how involved has he been in trying to see that he takes this to the governor to say, my people under me need this to be done because they're suffering from the after effect of this work?
All right, thank you very much. Well, it's unfortunate that I have to say this because now what happened, the incident, like I said earlier, that took place in my community at the junction, before the local government chairman, Honorable Solomon Eke, we as a community expected that Honorable Solomon Eke would have taken it upon himself from there. But as I speak to you, we have not had anything from Solomon Eke. In fact, look, let me tell you, one thing that the community is not happy about, that even after the death of that young man, that Honorable Solomon Eke have not deemed it necessary to commiserate, to come, to see, to visit the people.
So he hasn't visited
even
the family members of the boy that lost his life?
Not even a representative. And the community is not happy about it.
And you're saying he witnessed the whole event that happened and how the boy was shot?
Of course, he was there. Okay, now put that aside. I have personally, as the CDC chairman of the community, I have written to Solomon Eke. I have my copies of the letter I sent to him. He has not responded up to this moment. In fact, I went as far as detailing him on that letter that these are part of the things we want to talk with him. He has not replied. He has not responded. He has not given us audience. John, that is the situation here.
John, you are a member of a civil society organization. And in situations like this, where people feel aggrieved with their leaders, there are also steps that they can take to see that they draw their leaders' attention to the matters on ground, or to say to their leaders, you're not doing what we expect you to do, and for that reason, this is what we want to do. Those steps are available. If they're available, can't they be taken in a situation like this?
I think this particular Mbolu issue, the Mbolu people, the youth, the CDC, the elders, think has exhausted all the steps so far that they needed to take. Yes, they have exhausted all.
So as it stands now, at your mercy, at the mercy of whatever the flood brings.
Yes, whatever the flood is going to bring right now, they are just at the mercy of it. And, because sometimes I ask, are they waiting for Mbolu people to take arms against the government before they can react? Because they have written letters, they have some persons. We have also, some of these issues have been aired on radio, and yet the people it looks as if they are talking to people that are deaf. But we believe that this is another opportunity, because we have discovered as civil society that Nigerian government at all levels hear much when people take to violence. They respond when people take to violence. They don't respond to letters. They don't respond to protests. Because I was expecting that since the CDC chairman, the what they call it, the local government chairman that was present at that event, the death of that young man alone could have propelled that to say no.
But isn't it also possible that perhaps he might have tried to do something, but maybe there are other powers beyond him that would limit him from doing what he wants to do? Because don't forget that there are also speculations that some local government chairmen or many local government chairmen are not in total control of the office that they occupy.
That is why I said, if you watch what I said before, I said the politics in Rivers State has destroyed the fabrics that holds us together. Completely. If anybody that tells you that River State is living as human beings is a lie.
Okay. Let's
sorry. Let me add something to your question. I want to say it that Rabbi Solomon Eke, the executive chairman of Local Government, I want to say it to you that I see that he is not interested in this whole thing. Because if you say that he has done something, if he has tried
wouldn't that be too extreme if you say he's not interested at all?
Okay,
because
you
people voted him into that
Let me tell you. Yes, we voted him.
Because you believe that he can attend to your needs. So what could have changed along the line?
Okay, now let me tell you that there was a protest. You were on ground. Somebody was shot. He died instantly. The community have not had you. Either go on air, send somebody, a representative, if you cannot, who have written to you. There is nothing, no sign. So how do I believe that it's making any effort? Why won't I say what I've just said?
Let me add to what he has just said now. When the army actually, because we wrote a letter to the army, and the army responded. And the people that shot the young man was arrested. The army officers, they are still in detention now. Yeah, as we talk to you now, we are just coming from the
military police.
Yes, military police handling this matter. Now, when the army was about to invite the CDC chairman, because he was there, but they wanted to get information from those who are present and all the. We know what happened. We know steps taken by this young man,
the local
government, to frustrate all that were being done by civil society organizations. It's unfortunate. That's why he said, are we really living like human beings in Rivers State because of politics?
Okay. Before we go any further, let's quickly inform those who might just be tuned in. You're listening to Today's Hustle, and at the moment we're looking at the flood situation at Unkpolu axis of the East-West Road. Well, it's crippled business activities. In fact, a life was lost last year because of the condition of that particular road. This morning I was coming and I was speaking to a taxi driver. He also was complaining of how bad things are. People don't no longer want to get to Rumokoro. They tell you they're stopping before that junction, and you might have to walk through before you go get a vehicle. And many have said federal government should come, state government should. But at the end of the day, aren't these people worthy of getting the dividends of democracy that they voted whoever is in power for? And I also want us to use this opportunity to look at other roads. I'm pretty sure there are other roads in Rivers State, in Port Harcourt, that need urgent attention. The rains are here. We've already had warnings from the meteorological agency saying that some parts of Rivers State was among the states that were mentioned, and some local governments are going to experience flooding as a result of the rainy season that is already here. I would like to know the condition of some of the roads around your area as well. All you need to do is send us a message, mention the road, mention the situation to us, and if possible, you can tell us which local government and which your local government chairman around those areas. We'll take them on the show as well. 0701 933 9962 0701 933 9962. We'll also go to our phone lines and get your contributions. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to comment on this, so you want to say a thing or two, you can use our phone lines and call and ask your questions. We have with us in the studio the Community Development Committee Chairman Achinike. I hope I'll just leave only this first one. Let's leave the other. Urubogu. Okay. Urubogu is with us, and also John Hihia, Secretary, Rivers Civil Society Organization. They're both in the studio with me, so you can ask your questions as well. Call us on 08109510 Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello, Andy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yes, my name is Kennedy.
All right, Kennedy.
We are calling from Ropoko.
Go ahead.
See, my brother, up till now, I'm even surprised, and we are still talking about this Mpolu road of issue. See, it's just like you walking inside your office now, and you had an emergency or something happened to someone. You have first aid box inside that at least you will do something first before taking the person to hospital or to anywhere at all. It's quite unfortunate that this our state, the way my brothers are speaking there about this, the politics we play here has damaged many things. Many things has destroyed. See, if you go to that place in Polu Junction and see what is going on there, you will shed tears. No business, everything. But the statement should have done something. They should forget about sentiment. Forget about everything. Our big daddy normally do something. I don't know this. I just want to know. I want just to get another.
When you say big daddy, are you referring to the governor?
Yes, let him do something. He should do something and forget about the gun politics we played here. He's our father for Christ's sake. Somebody has lost his life there, and nothing is going on. He should do something. He should do something, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Something should be done by the state government, he says. And many would also expect that regardless, some level of, should I call it, work can be done to see that at least till you get emergency or you get some permanent steps taken towards it. And I'd like to ask you this, John Ihua. I was asking around before we did this. I was saying, don't we have SEMA in Rivers State? I think I should put that question. Like Rivers State Emergency Management Agency.
No.
We don't.
We don't.
So who is supposed to be saddled with the responsibility of at least doing something with regards to that situation at the Mbolo axis of the East-West Road?
I think there was one of the last government have some agencies that takes care of
the last government with regards to the first administration of this government, or the last government as regards to the last government before this
regards
government?
to the last government before this one.
All right.
They have some agencies, just packaged together to see that some of these rules have been taken care of.
Yeah.
I think in this government, I have not seen them anywhere around.
But it's safe to say the Ministry of Works should do something.
Ministry of Work should take some of these responsibilities to ensure that some of these areas, like right now, just like what we have been warned that the rainy
season,
and River State has been one of the states that will be affected. The question is that what are we doing? What steps are we taking? Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Works, let them come together to see that some of these areas, like if you go to Ikwere Road right now, from Education Bus Stop to MNK Junction, you can't pass that place right now, as I speak to you now.
It's the same situation?
The same situation. Because the underground drainage is blocked.
But also there's a problem. I looked at the East-West Road and discovered that no drainage at the sides. If you look at the East-West Road generally going down, the road was just tarred, but we don't have drainages at the side. Isn't it also a problem with our contractors or the government that award these contracts for not ensuring that a proper job is being done? Because 21st century, it's almost impossible to say you build a road, especially in these areas. And if you look at the Mbolo Junction, I don't see where those drainages that were even the makeshift drainages where they link to. You don't see where they link to. Yeah. They're just almost like digging a hole and leaving it there. And when it filled up, it flows over to shops that are on the side or whatever is on the side of the road. So isn't it also a problem, not just of the people who fill in those drainages with dirt, but then the government who do not ensure that contractors do a clean job?
The society, which is the masses, has a responsibility. The government also has a responsibility. I've always asked myself, are we actually human beings? Because if you go to that Ikwere Road, you will discover when we're after the market, you will see a lot of people throwing
dirt
on the road there.
On the road.
You understand? Now, are we living like human beings? That's the question I ask myself personally, because there is nothing I can do about it. Now, the government that is awarding some of these contracts sometimes do not include drainage, like that in Olu Aziz. There is no after the East-West Road,
yes,
and then the junction leading to Olu community. There is no drainage there. the drainage, because when you look at a particular environment and you want to award the peculiarity, first of all, you need to carry out an investigation, environmental impact assessment on that road to know the level of drainage that ought to be there.
Required.
Because if you watch at the back of Olu community, you will see this swamp that you can channel the water from that place back to that particular place in order to have for people to have access. But my worry is that it's like these people, they are expecting revolution from the masses.
By these people, you mean the
politicians? I mean the government, the politicians. Just like the local government kept quiet, the state government kept quiet, the federal government kept quiet. What do they expect?
Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. We'll come back to you quickly, Achinike, with regards to the local government. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
All right, good afternoon. Valentine.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
So, this is Ewa Grandma from Rumodogo.
Go ahead.
Yes. This our topic about the road. I beg, I don't know, this road, they are just talking Port Harcourt. Where is our rural area here? We are suffering. I am telling you, like today now when it's rain fall, no movement. Just if you want to know what I am telling you, if you want to go to
Rumodogo is under which local government area? Who is the local government chairman?
Alezi.
Tom.
Okay. The one that they just record.
The one that was recorded.
Yes.
So what has he been doing with regards to the situation? Have you guys informed him about it, and what steps has he taken to draw the government's attention to your problem?
Before, when we are talking about this road, we called him, and he graded only that way, only grading. So that's our community.
Okay, he graded it. Okay.
Yes, that's better. But as it starts now, no, as you know for now, even for you to use your leg, pass that community. It's very, very important. So many people now, they're taking their motor at the Rumuji, and he will check and come up their shoe because they enter that community. So let government remember us. Not the let them remember this rural area.
Okay.
We are suffering about the road.
Thank you very much. Noted, Rumodogo. I think Oyakama is another community that we visited, and it wasn't something to write him about. And according to what they said, I keep saying it because I felt really touched when 20 years, no power supply, but they have wires crossing the community. But the community said no potable drinking water, and they don't have roads as well. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Yeah. Is this your 95.1 FM?
Yes, it is. My name is Andrew. What's your name?
Thank you, sir. I'm calling from my friend. My name is Walter.
Okay, go ahead.
So I know it's just as that my brothers, what they are saying there. You know, like that Bolu, I could remember during Amechi regime, Amechi worked most of the federal roads. But I don't know whether it's the politics of the day that makes maybe our governor here not to attend to that their needs over that place. So I want to beg him, because if you're passing there, you will see most of those shops are closed. There's nothing that is going on there. That we are driving, you cannot pass through that place. Even my floor here, it's just the same thing too. The drainages, there's no everywhere have been filled up. So I want to beg him that he should hearken to the cry of the people and
okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution on the show. All right, the lines are still very open. 0817-0000951 and 0810-951-0951. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, go ahead with your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, Chima.
Yes, I want to buy into the idea of one of your guests here, where he said the government are waiting for revolution. I think that's what they are waiting for. Because when you look at what is happening, even from the state, federal, or non-existent local government, you will find out that nothing has been done. Now, it's not just only in Kolu. We have a road, when you are going to Tank, there's a road there, it's still along this west road. you will see that that road is now will be another worse after Nkolu. Yes, we have government of the day. Now, the problem that we are facing in this state, just as he said, I think is politics. Politics of acrimony. People cannot maintain decorum in playing their politics. So they want to play politics in everything. So I think it does not matter who should be responsible for that. All we want is let that road be fixed. Because we the motorists, that is the only way we can be able to benefit from government. Even though they can take up everything, please, all these things, they need to be fixed. When it goes to also a location junction behind the John, you understand what I'm saying?
That's another, yes, that's another one. Location junction is another one. That's true.
Yeah, location junction is another one. You see that the villages are blocked. So they need to deceive those villages so that the water can flow.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before we come to you, Achinike, this one says, Ifeemi, please always include the flood affecting us at Second Pipeline, Rukboku, from AP Junction, Apu Junction down to Bolingo Mortuary Road. That is a death trap. Let the governor, Mr. Project, and the Obiakpo local government chairman come to our aid as the rainy season is approaching. Now, God bless you, sir. Thanks, Ogonda. Okay, Ogonda, thank you. Let's get back to you now. Doing all the situation, you've adamantly stated that the local government chairman doesn't seem interested in trying to come to the aid of the people of his community. It is from that. I want to be sure that it is from that area. Is he?
Of course, it's from local. It's from
Does he reside there?
No, he doesn't. He's from Woji community. What is a community? He's from Woji community.
Woji community, yes, but he doesn't reside there.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so now that this is at the level that it is, because last year we made a lot of noise, everybody was talking about it, and in Nigeria it's not a tradition. Once we're in problem, everybody shouts. You're expecting that something would be done before that problem comes again, and now we are here, rainy season again, and the same thing is beginning to repeat itself. Now that it looks like nothing can be done about it, what are you, as the CDC chairman, what further steps would be taken to try at least to engage the local government chairman first, even if we can't get directly to the government of the day?
It's all right. You see, we'll always do what we can do. We will do what we have to do as a people, as a community. And of course, we know that it is the responsibility of the government to provide us with these things, give us good roads, power, water, and other social amenities. You see, regarding to Mbulu situation, and of course, it could also happen to anybody or any other community, but because today it is affected Mbulu community. Now, like I said, personally, I have written to the local government chairman. Like I said, I went.
Gone to his office?
Of course, we have submitted the letter. I went myself.
And he was not even in his office?
No, he was not. Expected him to have called on the attention of the community, probably by inviting the leadership of the community.
Has he been invited by the leadership of the community?
He has not.
He's not been invited. Has the leadership of the community invited him to come and perhaps tell them what plans he has?
No, to us.
They can't invite him.
They can't invite him.
Yes, rather, we write to him. Requesting his audience, requesting that probably he called us. We'll go to him.
Well, the reason I asked is because, for instance, in the northern part of the country, traditional rulers have some level of...
It's a different case here. It's a different case here. It's a different... We go to him. We are ready. We are prepared as a community to talk with him, to discuss, to bring our own ideas. And of course, we have to the extent which can do as a community. But yeah, he is the government. He is the leader. He is the chairman. Do you understand? We'll give ideas to him. It is for him to implement. Seeing the ideas to be good ones to help us. Now, we are looking at local government may not have all the powers to take care of the situation, but there could be a palliative measure. There's something he can do as a council chairman.
John.
To reduce the pains on the people.
You have said...
Wait, let me come. Now, the situation in Olu, the situation there is such that somebody could come up to say, look, it's federal road, is this and other. Look, I tell you, something can be done without even tampering the east-west road. Because there is a culvert that runs under the east-west road, connecting the community, which is supposed to take this out of the community to somewhere else. We expected the local government to have come to do the local job.
But I want you to confirm or dispute this. There were also some complaints that youths in the community, I know that there's supposed to be something like a fast food restaurant that was supposed to be on this side of the road.
Okay.
And there were also some statements that the owner of that facility wanted to do a small drainage system, but then community youths of the community stopped that process from taking off.
That is not correct. That is not correct. Nobody wants to stop somebody who is doing a drainage that will supposed to benefit the community. Nobody want to do that. Nobody will stop that. It's not correct.
John, as a civil society organization, you rightly have said that you have tried, and some of the times there were steps that were taken by the local government chairman to hinder the process. What more? How else can you come in as a civil society organization to help alleviate this situation?
Well, of course, we are always civil, and we have a way of approaching matters.
But you said violence is what the government.
No. I said they want. It's not. It's the government that is looking for it. Yeah, they are looking for it. In quote. Because if they are not looking for it, I don't think they will keep quiet in that particular matter in Olu Junction. Yes, because that issue has taken a life, and the person has not been buried. The investigation is still on. So the young man that paid the price for that particular place, the joy he could have is to see that place
is sorted out.
We're
sorting out the mortuary bills for the corpse of the deceased.
Okay, is the community is that's why I said see, let me tell you, Andrew. Let me tell you, I don't know reason why the governor didn't suspend the local government chairman.
Was he part of those suspended?
No, it was not.
It was not.
It was not. He has abandoned these people. The mortuary bill, the autopsy, everything has been taken care of by these people, by this community. Everything has been taken care of. So I don't know why the governor did not suspend that young man. Because he's doing nothing. He has failed. He has failed Obiabo people.
Let me inform you. The community went as far as taking a loan for this purpose. To see that autopsy is done, to see the investigation is
seeking for justice.
Just for justice.
So back to your question. What we will do and what we intend to do. Because somebody has paid a price, a supreme price for that particular project, for that particular issue, we will not allow the matter go the way they want it to go. No. They will take action. Because definitely, we will talk with the drivers plying that route, all the residents that are plying that route, everybody that lives around that environment. There will be a fateful day that entire Obiapo will be shut down. Let them bring the army. Let them bring anybody they want to bring. Because, like I said, they believe that when you are not forceful, they cannot respond to you. I am saying it on air. Because somebody has paid a price on that particular place. The local government has abandoned them. The governor has abandoned them. The governor is from Obiapo local government. The local government is also from there. Why would they abandon Olu people to this level? That up to today, the people has gone ahead to borrow money to see that they get justice. While they are suffering to get justice, they are also emotionally suffering to move around and do their business in the environment, in a place that all of them belong to. Don't government know, and Obiapo local government chairman know, that he is holding the authority and the properties of Obiapo in trust for the people?
All right, we could go on and on, but let's get to our phone lines and then the SMS portal quickly. Try to be straight to the point with your opinion. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon. This is DK.
All right, DK, go ahead.
Lucky to have you today, yes. You see, my greeting to the two gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Listening to you people, and the man, the civil society man, John, Mpolu people have exhausted all they need to do to have government attention. I want to ask him, have they looked inward and checked that community does not have Jonah Remember
Judas.
Jonah?
Oh, Jonah.
Because
Okay.
if you have APC chieftain in that community, that constitutes a Jonah to cast him out to get the PDP government attention. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We will come to that. I know you want to respond. Let's take another call first. Hello. Good afternoon. What was this? Okay, go ahead.
The two young men there, I greet you all.
Thank you very much, my brother.
My brothers, I've been listening to what you people are saying. The truth of the matter is that I see that the current government now is partial. Because if this thing that is there is something that is in my fault, the governor will not hesitate to fix it up. For the fact he is not in his residence, he will do nothing about it because he is partial. Go to my phone, there is no single street that is not tied. How much more what we are
Why do you feel the government, the governor, this government is partial, and why the emphasis on my fault?
Yes, I am saying so because the governor cannot allow this kind of a thing to be in my phone.
Why?
OTI. You understand? If not so, you can't tell me that all these things have been happening and government cannot say anything about it. He can't do nothing about it. How much more local government chairman? They are all partial in this government.
Okay.
As my brother said before, they should check where if there is any Jonah there. If there is any Jonah there, the governor will not do anything there because it is partial.
Thank you very much. Jonah again. Welcome to the Jonah situation.
Hello, yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew. We have this Polu road that they are talking about.
Your name first. Your name first.
Yes, my name is Engineer Victor from Rumolumi.
Okay, Victor.
Because even we too, we have our own problem. Within the Chinda has this to St. John. There is a filling station called Kemewe filling station. By that, there is a canal there. The government needs to come and open up that canal. So the whole water that is coming down from Chinda, some part of Adajaj, even this new road that the governor just finished by room a break on here, they channel the whole water straight to that place. The volume of the water now is higher than the size of the canal. So they need to bring Swan Boogie to come and open up that canal by Chinda. I think you're heading to Ewanfe by St. John. Okay. That Chinda by Douglas Road. So secondly, this thing Poluma that they're talking about, we have federal government. Then to them, still your guys there, they're not even talking about the federal government because East West Road is part of East Federal Government Road. Then they call the federal government too. I know that the government can do something, but none of them is talking about the federal government. Muhammad Buhari, they should talk about him. They talk about the corridor. We too, we have our own problem.
President Muhammad Buhari,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, President Muhammad Buhari. Even we the masses, we have our own problem. We will use this bottled water can and throw inside the drainage. We have our own. We are the major problem. Throw all those things inside the drainage. The thing will block the drainage. Tomorrow we shall go for the weekend. It's not good.
Okay.
We are behaving like that. We most of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's take a few text messages first before we come to your reactions. A lot of messages. I don't know how many we can take, but we'll try. Please, Andrew, tell Mr. Project that Omuma local government has no single motorable road as it stands now, especially the road that leads from Owaza to Eberi roundabout and another one from Umoyere to Okwe from Peter. Please tell Governor Wike to come and rebuild Creek Road Market. He demolished it in 2017. Peter from Port Harcourt. My brother, I want to say to the world and Nigerians that if River State government led by Gayson Wike does not come to the aid of Rukboko people living at Rumapo second pipeline, consider them being flooded out. Mbata Kalagbo. Andrew, good afternoon. Umwegbulu Igbo Echie Road is the worst road in River State, but my greatest surprise is that Governor Gayson Wike, my brother, came to our community in 2014 and campaigned with our brother Honorable Tony Ejiogu Unjoku, representing Echie constituency 2 in the River State House of Assembly for votes, and they were voted in accordingly. And today they have shown us hatred by not recognizing that we are Rivers people and their brother as well. Chimela from Umoe Bulu Eche. And this one says, Mr. Andrew, good day. Umpolu people sold their land without considering outcomes thereafter. Umpolu people sold their waterways, sold kitchen and toilets, frontage. Even they sold their parlor without considering the future occurrence. So nobody should blame Governor Wike. Wike cannot reclaim Umpolu. I don't understand that part of the message, but I think the beginning part we all got an idea of. And I'd like us to address that part of the message before we come to the Jonah issue. I know you want to say something about the Jonah. Achinike. The message, what he just said now, he said the selling of land in Umpolu is also another problem. People just said the land however they want to, and that's what could be resulting to this issue.
Well, it's unfortunate that you have to stand that way. If you talk about selling of land, like from my statement earlier,
because that report came last year about a land, a field or something that was sold for some project. I can't remember exactly.
A particular section that was sold at that East to West Road by Mpolo Junction. Actually, that property was not sold by any member of Mpolo Rumimbo community. And of course, a member of Mpolo community wouldn't have sold such a land that will in turn become a problem to the people. I can assure you that
So who sold it? If it really was sold?
Yes. Like I said, that land was sold by the people who are from the other side of Rumimbo. You know, as if you're going to Ikwe Road.
Do they own that particular land that they sold?
Yes, they actually own that particular land that they sold as an inheritance. It's their property. You know, we did our best to see that that property was not sold. But like, of course, there is no extent you will go to telling somebody not to sell his property that belongs to him. Do you understand? And like I said, a man who is from Olumio community wouldn't have sold such a property that will in turn affect the community. Okay. So that property was not sold by an Olumio.
All right, quickly. Let's get back to you, Jonah.
The Jonah issue.
Yes. Is there a Jonah?
If we take the circumstance, I want to answer what I said. From what I said before, I said the politics that we play here have damaged the fabric that holds us together.
That answers the question.
So that answers the question. So I don't see Jonah anywhere.
Let's take a few more messages because time is already running out. Besides Umbolu, there is a stretch between Rumuda Junction and Deeper Life Headquarters. That point has already become a source of pain to motorists. We expected action from relevant quarters before now, but because this is Nigeria, it was left to deteriorate to the level it is now. Our political leaders sure need total brain overhauling. Mrs. Essien from Rumuduru sent in this one. Good day, Andrew. Aya Sauti from Eli Brada says, the type of government we run here is political affiliation. You must belong or you vote for them before you will be listened to. Bolu people should manage because the River State government will not hear them except federal government. While we appoint blame to the government for neglecting the situation, let us also ask the people of Bolu if there used to be flood there before this time. If so, how were those lands sold without flood consideration? Joshua Kali, I think you just answered that question now, Joshua, if you listened. And this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Andy. The bad road issue in Port Harcourt and its environment is pathetic. This government's federal, states, and local governments should be on and all the time. From Johnny Kodudu Phillips Avenue off Shell Location Road. Well, we have to wrap things up. We wish we could. It's always very intense like this on the show, but we normally don't end up taking all messages and all calls. We apologize for that one. But before we go quickly, let's get final words from our gentlemen in the studio. John Ihua, Secretary, Rivers Civil Society Organization. Yes.
We are together in this with Bolo people, as far as that matter is concerned, and also continue to appeal to the state government and women Rivers people to actually do the needful to see that we live in peace and let that particular junction be motorable.
You mentioned trying to organize motorists, residents, and everybody on a fateful day. Is there a date for this fateful day?
Well, I will not give you the date now, but we'll continue to talk to people to see reasons why they need to do that, because it definitely affects not all people only, but everybody who uses that road.
All right, then let's also get your final words, Chinike Owobogu, Community Development Committee Chairman.
All right. Well, first of all, let me use the opportunity to congratulate His Excellency, the executive governor of River State, for his re-election. And again, to also remind him something, His Excellency is a son of a local government area. And of course, I know His Excellency knows all the roots and crannies of Olumio community. He's a part and parcel of that community. In fact, let me also inform His Excellency, because of course I know he will be hearing us, that the oldest man in that community, who is over 100 years old, he knows him in person. So I speak because during his 1999 elections and all of that, His Excellency today, who was going for as a local government chairman, was frequenting the community. And of course, most of his meetings were held in this old man's compound. He's the oldest man in the community now. As I speak to you, that man has been chased away from his house because of this flood, because his house is very close to the junction. I want to inform His Excellency about this. I'm sure he's not aware. Now, we have done what we can as a community, because as at last year, the road was not passable. Nobody could access the community. Also, let me say thanks to Salvation Ministry, the General Overseer, who came to the aid of the community, helped to fix the community roads, that the road became accessible before this time, and other persons that have contributed in one way or the other to see that the road became accessible before.
Time is already fast spent.
Then, finally, please, we cannot go into extinction as a community. The government must come to our aid. We do not wish to go back on protest or any form of violence or something before the government, but let the government not also wait or to allow us to come out again to the street because of this problem. Because we cannot be alive and then watch our community being taken over by flood when we have a government that ought to be there for us.
Thank you very much. That was the Community Development Committee Chairman, Achinike Rubogo. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you as well, John Ihua.
Thank you very much.
Still today's hustle. It's going to be coming your way again same time tomorrow. My name remains Ifeemi Andrew. Bye for now.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeemi Andrew. The Senate has summoned the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, to appear before it next Tuesday. Senate President Bukola Saraki made the announcement during plenary. He said the minister is to appear before the Senate to brief them on the current state of facilities in Nigeria teaching hospitals. The Senate had last week resolved to invite the minister over a motion sponsored by Senator David Umar querying the state of the nation's teaching hospitals. And the Senate has passed the Public Holiday Act Amendment Bill to recognize June 12 as the new Democracy Day. The bill was passed almost 1 year after President Muhammadu Buhari announced that the date would replace May 29 for Nigerians to commemorate the return to the civilian government. While some members of the National Assembly had criticized the president, the Democracy Day cannot be changed by just a declaration. Others commended his decision. President Buhari's declaration was later approved in the Senate by an act of parliament after the lawmakers considered the bill seeking to amend the Public Holiday Act on Thursday. The bill, which is in concurrence with that of the House of Representatives, will now be forwarded to the president for assent. And in Ekiti State, Governor Kayode Fayemi has cancelled all employments made by the administration of former Governor Ayodele Fayose from July 2018. The Commissioner for Information, Muyiwa Olumilua, who made the announcement at a press conference in Ado-Ekiti at the state capital, said government condemned the last-minute employments made by the past administration. Olumilua said the employment lacked due process and were hurriedly done after Fayemi won the governorship election in the last year. The government also placed conditions on other employment stated before the election, saying they would be subject to review and availability of vacancy. And in the state, Police Command says it is wrong for members of crime-affected communities to first run to press to report crimes instead of the police. Spokesman of the command, Nnamdi Emoni, who was reacting to a situation at Iriebe community in Obiakwa local government area of the state, said residents of the community were alleged to have reported suspicious plots by hoodlums to a radio station, which he said informed the criminals to escape before the arrival of the police. Emoni, who is the deputy superintendent of police, in an interview with our correspondent Uchendu Ojewo, said by so doing, plans by security agents to apprehend the criminal before the crime may be defeated. And it has been observed that some traders who own shops at the Rumokoro market have refused to make use of them. Our correspondent Ifunaya Obeme Ndukwe observed that the traders prefer to display their goods on the roadside to enable them attract more customers. Some of the traders who spoke with our correspondent said they cannot afford the cost of the shops in the market, leaving them with no choice than to sell on the roadside. They therefore appealed to the state government to reduce the price for renting the shops to enable them return to the market. The call is coming as the deadline issued by the state government for the stoppage of roadside trading comes to an end. And on the foreign scene, an international crime gang which used malware to steal $100 million from more than 40,000 victims has been dismantled. A complex police operation conducted investigations in the US, Bulgaria, Germany, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine. The gang infected computers with Goznim malware, which captured online banking details to access bank accounts. The gang was put together from criminals who advertised their skills on online forums. The details of the operation were revealed at the headquarters of the European police agency Europol in The Hague. It said that the investigation was unprecedented, especially in terms of cross-border cooperation. And that's it on the news update for this hour. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM.
I can feel it. It's going to be big. Two brands tested and trusted in the Nigerian entertainment industry. One World Global Records and MSN.
Coming to PH City, Oshefili Community Hall. Performing live, Two-Face, Drunk and Mighty, Techno, Young Sam, Harrison, Orexi, Young Six, Godons, Abororo, Agodai, Sheilo, Kenny Black, and many more. On the wheels of steel, DJ Neptune, DJ KY, and many more. Host Tombobele and Amanda. Date 26th May 2019. Red carpet 5 p.m. Main event 6 p.m. Aztec Arkham, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. Ticket regular 2,000 naira. Table 1 million naira. Get your ticket at Port Harcourt Mall, Old Kilimanjaro Outlet, Genesis Center GRA, and www.teleafricaticket.com. For inquiries, call 0706 608 9187. Oshefili Community Hall. Supported by TV, Night House Lord, Fufu NG, Penula Events, Petrus Guides, PH Mega Fashion Show, Niger Vibes, Palm Drive, PH City Promo, Cake Market, Wise Man Media, and Today FM.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh, my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots, the moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
A very good afternoon and welcome to today's Sports Live, reaching you live from the stables of 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. It's Thursday, the 16th day of the month of May. A very cool Thursday afternoon right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. My name is Emmanuel Chibuzo. I am the top striker this afternoon, set for us to talk sports this afternoon. at its very best. And of course, I'm not alone this afternoon. I have the guys very much in the building this afternoon. Wisdom Obina signs in for this one. Wisdom, nice to have you this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Top Striker. Good afternoon to my colleague here in the studio and to everyone listening out there. It's great to be here.
I also have Dorcas Koki right here in the building. Dorcas, nice to have you this afternoon.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon to you, Top Striker, and to Wisdom, and to those guys listening to us out there. Good afternoon.
And of course, the program is highly interactive this afternoon. For SMS and WhatsApp, you can reach us on the number 0701-9339-962. 0701-9339-962. Starting off from golf, the USPGA tournament gets underway today right there. Not forgetting tennis, where the controversial one himself, talking about Nick Kyrgios, has been disqualified for something very terrible he did just this afternoon right there in the city of Rome. Not forgetting the NPFL. And of course, Abia Warriors find themselves flirting muzzles somewhere around the middle of the table this afternoon. And of course, not forgetting the NBA Finals. The Eastern Conference got off last night right there in the city of Milwaukee. And of course, we're going to give you all the updates from that this afternoon. And of course, we shall be opening the phone lines at some point for you to be a part of the program this afternoon. On Twitter, you can tweet at me at Emmanuel9001 at Emmanuel90001. And of course, we shall be hearing from you live this afternoon. And of course, let's tee off from the world of golf for this afternoon. On the flip side, where Masters winner Tiger Woods opened his USPGA Championship campaign today alongside defending champion Brooks Koepka and Open champion Francesco Molinari. The trio headed out together at about 1:24 p.m. Nigerian time for their first round at Bethpage Black in New York. Woods, who's 43, won at Augusta in April to end an 11-year wait for a 15th major. World number 1 Dustin Johnson will play alongside Spain's John Ram and Jordan Spieth at about 8:16 p.m. today, as England's world number 2 Justin Rose is in a 3-ball with Americans Bubba Watson and Ricky Fowler, while 4-time major winner Rory McIlroy plays with 2005 champion Phil Mickelson and 2015 winner Jason Day at about 6:38 p.m. This is the first year that the USPGA has been moved from August to May. Jordan Spieth is also seeking to win the career slam should he win this one right there. And of course, on Wisdom, and Tiger is back right there. A strong cast he has right there alongside the Masters winner, USPGA champion, talking about Bruce Koepka, defending champion, and Francesco Molinari, who is also the Open champion. What are his chances? A strong cast he's got right there, Molinari and Bruce Koepka.
Well, of course, it looks quite huge if you look at the names involved and what they've been able to achieve in the sport. But I want to look at Tiger Woods and say the confidence in the Tiger seems to have returned. We saw a flash of that last year, and of course, it looked like a flash because after then, he went to the Ryder Cup and completely, was lost in the crowd. But he has come back strong. He has been able to push himself further. And of course, the heights of it was, winning that Augusta National last month. And we saw the awards and paparazzi that have gone with it, ever since he won that award. So I think the confidence in the Tiger is back. We all believed and we all knew that Tiger Woods was no pushover. If you look at what this guy has done in his career, the fact that he has set a new standard for the sport, everyone coming in, of course, teed off from him. Now, this was a man who came in quite young, did some sort of trainings, that even others did not do when it comes to lifting weights and all that, has pushed himself, quite forward. So I think for me, the confidence in the Tiger is back, and that's basically what might be edging him against, far above these guys. And the fear of the Tiger, yes, of course. They say living lion, whether the lion is dead or alive, you tend to be scared of that environment. We all know that most of these other athletes or these other golf players have been scared of the potent inside the Tiger. And of course, the Tiger has returned with a bang. And if you listen to the Tiger talk, there's no fears anymore. It seems like that winning mentality is back. So I think it's going to be tough. Of course, you don't expect him to just stroll through the likes of Francesco Molinari. It wouldn't be that easy, but I tell you, the Tiger is back and anything is possible.
And of course, Dorcas, should he win this one, is going to be his 16th major. And of course, he has a strong cast right there. Looking at what he did in Augusta to end an 11-year wait, do you give Tiger a chance at winning this one at the USPGA?
Even before now, even when Tiger had to go for a very long time for winning anything again after 11 years, and everybody was like, whenever there was a tournament and Tiger Woods was to take part, everybody knew was always giving Tiger Woods a chance. And now that he eventually won his 15th so far, just in April, everybody see him like the biggest chance ever. You could bet your money on him, and I would want to bet my money on him that he could go all the way to get to winning. That is, if you could hear how its determination is. He's concentrated. He's concentrating more on his game. He's okay. He feels very good right now in any game he finds himself in. So I think that's the attitude that Tiger Woods needs in any tournament, and that could win him anything, any tournament, any trophy he wants this year.
Jordan Spieth is seeking to win this one. He has not won it to have his career slam. And of course, in 2014, 2015, it was more about Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy. We call him a Fantastic Four: Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, and Dustin Johnson. It seems among those four, Dustin Johnson is the only person who has been flirting around these big boys in the world of golf. What has happened to Jason Day? What has happened to Jordan Spieth? And of course, Rory McIlroy has been coming in and out. Do you see them coming after this one to rival with the likes of Francesco Molinari and Bruce Koepka?
Well, first, what has happened to them is inconsistency. That's what you get from most of these golfers. Of course, we've seen in the past 10 plus years that the Tiger has been out. We've seen different names. At some tournaments, it would be Phil Mickelson. Some tournaments, it would be Jordan Spieth. Brooks Koepka came through the ranks. Dustin Johnson, the Rose of this world. Everyone, even the Molinaris, the Rory McIlroy at some point was even touted to be, okay, this would be the man that would dominate the scene for a while. But of course, after some point, they also found the way to maybe falter, or crash like a pack of cards. So I think for me, the likes of Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, they are still those guys that could flash up, maybe pick it up once in a while. And of course, I won't still be surprised. I tell you, Top Strike, I won't be surprised if one of these names still comes up to pick this one and run away with it. I won't also be shocked if some strange name too, maybe not even in the top 10, top 20. You look at the likes of Dustin Johnson and you ask yourself questions. This guy from 2017, 64 weeks, he was number one. And even at all these, paparazzi of being number one, shenanigans around the fact that a lot of people come to you, you're number one, you get some deals and everything, it doesn't translate into titles, consistent titles. So telling you first that the rankings don't even play anything.
2018 was more like the year for Bruce Koepka, who shone like a million stars. Even Molinari as well had a good 2018.
Of course, top striker. But the question is, how consistent were they even in that 2018 when it comes to dominating? Now, we knew when Woods was in the business. Nobody's even judging Woods now to have completely returned until we see 2019. We saw a flash in 2018. Now we've seen a little flash. Looks like the fire might be coming back. But when the Tiger was really the Tiger, he dominated every year. Now, every tournament he goes into, he's the favorite. Every other person can come from anywhere else, but he's number one. And every other person would just maybe accept something strange happens. But we've not seen that from any of them. Now, you talked about Bruce Koepka doing some fantastic things in 2018. How has he started 2019? Even towards the ending of the 2018, how far? So I think for me, of course, it's golf, and I still believe Tiger is not completely back. So I wouldn't be shocked if any of them spring surprises top striker. But just maybe we might be seeing one new name too. Might not finish or end up winning this. One new will be joining. But I do wish them well, because the Tiger I've seen looks like a man who has regained his mindset.
And of course, round one is currently on right there. Tiger is already on. I've teed off right there. Not forgetting Dustin Johnson as well. And not forgetting in the same group with Tiger Woods, you have Bruce Koepka and Francesco Molinari. Over now to the world of tennis. We go this afternoon. Our destination is Rome, where Roger Federer marked his Italian Open return with victory against Portugal's João Sousa, as 8-time champion Rafael Nadal also progressed in Rome, making his first appearance since 2016. Four-time finalist Federer, who's 37, defeated Sousa 6-4, 6-3 in 1 hour 21 minutes to reach the third round. Defending champion Nadal, who's 32, took 1 hour and 8 minutes to beat France's Jeremy Chardy 6-love and 6-1 in that encounter. Federer plays Bonakoric next, while Nadal faces Nicolas Basilashvili. Both matches will be played later on Thursday today after rain washed out Wednesday's play, which means they are playing 2 games today. Barcelona Open champion and Madrid Open semi-finalist Dominic Thiem lost in the second round to Spain's world number 38, Fernando Verdasco. He has been touted to be the Prince of Clay. Thiem took the first set, but Verdasco broke the world number 4 serve at 5-5 in the third to win 4-6, 6-4, 7-5 in 2 hours and 46 minutes. While 9th seed Mate Cilic is also out after Germany's world number 51, Jan-Lennart Struff claimed a 6-2, 6-3 victory against the Croats. Struff's third round opponent is Ken Shikori after Japan's world number 6 defeated American Taylor Fritz 6-2, 6-4. Novak Djokovic on his part defeated Denis Shapovalov 6-1, 6-3, while Mario Balotelli of the world of tennis. Nick Kyrgios is embroiled in fresh controversy after he was disqualified from his match against Casper Ruud after throwing his chair onto the court at the Italian Open. The Australian had fought back to level the match against Ruud at 1-set-all and was break up in the third set. But down breakpoint, Kyrgios framed a forehand wide to hand back the break to Ruud. Kyrgios then turned his eye at the crowd before slamming his racket to the floor. He then kicked a water bottle and picked up a nearby stool and threw it across the court. Kyrgios had received multiple code violations earlier in the match, and the umpire handed him a game penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. He then packed his bag and walked off the court, leading to him being defaulted from the match. Dorcas, Nick Kyrgios, always in the news for the wrong reasons.
For me, I personally do think that he has a problem with his head or with his brain. I don't know if it has to be something psychological. They have to check it, because if they do not, it's going to continue. And he's painting the sport bad right now. Looking at it, everybody do not want to, and also he's also painting himself black in the sport of tennis. He's not a guy that fans would want to go spend time to. Maybe if they want to go, they want to just see controversies, because he always does that. If he's not having altercations with the fans, he's going to be having with the umpire, with the opener, with the linesman, with sport. Everybody, he does that. He smashes his racket, he throws bottles, he throws stools, he does several things. So I think that's not a sportsmanlike behavior from Kyrgios, but he's always like that. Let's not forget in 2016, from January to December, October, he was having problems. That was how bad it was for Kyrgios in the Australian Open in Wimbledon. They sanctioned him for like 3 times in Wimbledon. So I think he really needs to check his head. If it's not good enough for him to play, they should let him go, because right now the sport is not looking forward for any guy named Kyrgios to come on the court to play against anybody. You could hear Rafa Nadal. He spoke something that he said he's not a sportsman. He doesn't have a sportsman behavior. He's not someone that anybody will look up to. Yes, we termed him. He used to be termed the next gen, but now he's 24. Let's not forget that, and he has not really won anything for himself so far, not even for the sport. So I think they should check him and see if he's fit to continue playing the sport. If he's not, please let him go, because right now the sport will not look forward to see him.
Wisdom, Nick Kyrgios always in the news. Yes, no Grand Slam to his name. He won the tournament in Acapulco in Mexico, where he knocked out Nadal. I don't know. We felt as he's getting older with age, he should be getting better in his character. But it seems the older he's getting, the more terrible he becomes.
Well, top striker, 3 individuals that come to mind. 2 individuals make that come to mind when I look at Nick Kyrgios. A certain Mourinho and Mario Balotelli in football, and he combines the 2 characters. Now, Nick Kyrgios for me is that was late yesterday or so. He was asked about Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. And you need to hear what this guy said. So made some comments. Nadal, if he loses, if he wins, he will talk about how good the other person is and all that. If he loses, he would, the other person automatically becomes a bad person and all that. Made a lot of very, very faulty statements, you want to say, because it looks like insult on the part of the likes of Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. Talks about the fact that Novak Djokovic is always trying to be like Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer. No matter how many Grand Slam he wins, he will never be the greatest. Some statements. So I think for me, Nick Kyrgios is one of those humans that say the way they feel. And 2 things is to know you have a problem and is to be willing to solve it. I think the world has been large enough to probably tell him he has a problem. The question will be, what is the view of this guy concerning the problem? He's no longer in next gen. He's no longer among those who we are looking up to shake the tables when it comes to Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, and Roger Federer. But as it is now, his attitude on the on the game, on the field of play, really counts a lot. Now you look at the fact that he doesn't just tee off with his mouth. He goes physical. So he lets everything out immediately. As I said, that's the kind of person he is. But the question is, when you know you have this kind of issue, what are you willing to do about it? And I think he doesn't care. He doesn't care, and that's the problem. At some point in the sport, if he continues going this way, now Doc has just highlighted the issues he had last year. Of course, it's not even the first year. Nick Kyrgios has been a perennial problem, if you want to put it that way. So I think for me, the question is, he doesn't look like someone who wants to change. He knows he has a problem. I think he does. At least he would understand that his opinions most times.
He might think he's just been him. Maybe he doesn't have a problem. The other people thinks he has a problem.
No, that's another thing. The question is, how has he even interpreted what has been said to you? I think a lot of people, now if Mr. ABC complain about the same thing, in what you're doing, then you have a small challenge. If everybody can be wrong at the same time, and only you be the right person in a crowd of millions of people, you read the news, you listen to comments coming from different analysts concerning your action, you should definitely think of retracing your steps. Even if I feel sometimes you have to be vocal, say it the way you feel. I'm not among those who tell you, try to cap it in, but you must manage it. There are ways you go about it. Then your action on the pitch, come on, you don't use your mouth and your hands, your fist. You're not a boxer. You're not maybe a hockey player. You don't use woods and tables and all that. You came there to play tennis. Every action you want to speak should be with your racket and maybe the ball, the tennis ball. Then when you go to talking, you can be able to say anything. Then let's be that you're incriminated by your words. But Nick Kyrgios, for me, a very troublesome fella. And I tell you, it's talent locked up in a very, very wrong vessel. We've seen that with Mario Balotelli. I'm sure he's still struggling to pick up his pieces still now. That would have been one of the greatest strikers the world has ever seen. Looking at the age he started scoring goals and all that. So it's one of those issues that comes with talent. The one thing is to have a talent. One thing is to have the character to back that talent.
And of course, over now to the NBA. And of course, Brook Lopez scored a playoff career best 29 points and grabbed 11 rebounds as the Milwaukee Bucks used a fourth quarter surge to defeat the visiting Toronto Raptors 108-100 in the early hours of this morning in the opening game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Lopez, who came into game one averaging just 8.33 points per game, reflected on Milwaukee's late rally and said he felt it showed the team's adaptability in tough situations. Giannis Antetokounmpo added 24 points and 14 rebounds for the Bucks, who host Game 2 on Friday. Malcolm Brogdon added 15 points off the bench for the Bucks. Nikola Mirotic scored 13 points and Chris Middleton had 11 points and 11 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard led the Raptors with 31 points and 9 rebounds. Kyle Lowry had 30 points. Pascal Siakam scored 15 points and Marc Gasol had 6 points and 12 rebounds. The Bucks, who trailed by as many as 13 points in the first quarter, scored the first 8 points in the fourth quarter to lead by 1. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals is tonight at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, with Golden State Warriors leading the Portland Trail Blazers by game 2-0 in the best of 7 series. The matchup has lived up to the billing, I don't know, but of course some people felt the Bucks struggled to steal game 1 from the Raptors, though they have the home court advantage. Giannis Antetokounmpo had a struggling night, but of course the team were still able to win. Are you surprised? The two best teams in the Eastern Conference matching up in the conference finals.
That's the stuff that champions are made of. In as much as the game is difficult for you, you try to look for ways to get to win it. And for me, the Milwaukee Bucks did that. Yet it was difficult for them. We all know that even Steph Curry on his day do have one of his worst days ever. But depends on how you react to it. Depends on how you pick yourself to help your team get to pass and over any other team. Yes, the Toronto Raptors are also good, in the Eastern Conference, just as the Milwaukee Bucks this NBA season. So I think it's a difficult one. Just like we were looking at the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. We know how those two are in the Western Conference. They are very tough. And looking at this in the Eastern Conference, we know that this is supposed to be the final. And yes, it's living up to the billing. Yes, it was difficult for Milwaukee Bucks to get to pick game 1. But then let's see how this game 2 is going to be. Let's see how Toronto Raptors are going to pick themselves up and react to the Milwaukee Bucks. But right now, I think if it continues like this, champions look for ways to get to pick up every point that they can get. If it continues like this, then Milwaukee Bucks can move forward. Let's see how the Toronto Raptors are going to react in game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final.
If you want to look at the matchup between the two stars of the two teams, Kawhi Leonard and Giannis, Kawhi stole the show. 31 points. Giannis struggled all through the game. Of course, we already talk about the fact that you have a good backcourt in the likes of Brook Lopez is the center, former Lakers player, scored 29 points. It's a career playoff high for him in that encounter. 13 of those were scored in the fourth quarter. That was where they came back to get the better of the Toronto Raptors. The two best teams in the Eastern Conference seeded 1 and 2. And right now, the overall best team in the NBA this season, in the regular season, is the Bucks with 60 wins. Do you see the way they played last night? Do you see the Raptors getting game 2? Of course, the Bucks still have the home court advantage. They're still hosting the game tomorrow. Can the Raptors still shock them in their home turf right there in Milwaukee?
Well, I think if at all it's going to even be possible, it will be really, really tough. But of course, these are two of the strongest sides, as you just highlighted, And on the night, talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, I want to look at it as some days, you let it sleep. And if a team is really a team, some other person could step up at times, to steal the show. You look at the names you just mentioned now, from Malcolm Brogdon to
Chris Middleton,
and even Brooks Lopez himself. I think it's a good one that first the teamwork came to play, because it just might be that night that the big man, would not show up. For Malcolm Brogdon, massive, for him. Recall that he was injured last month until that semi-final against Boston Celtics, but he was able to come back at least. He could be a huge super sub, I tell you, if should going forward, for the side. So I think for me, for the Raptors, it will be difficult to push out, the Milwaukee Bucks even in the second game. It's difficult for them to get a positive result. But if you want to look on the other side and look at how the extent test, they give them in this one, then definitely you might feel something might come out of it for the Raptors. But from what I'm seeing, I tell you, top striker, Milwaukee Bucks might still be getting that second set.
Semi-final matchup between the Bucks and the Celtics, game 1 was also a problem for the Bucks at home as well. And Giannis struggled all through that game. And after that game, former Celtic greats, Paul Pierce, one of the finest scorers in the game, he just said this game is over for the Bucks. As in, this series is over. But we saw how they came back in game 2, game 3, game 4. They won the next 4 games to win that series 4-1. So probably, is it a thing of Giannis always struggling with the game 1s?
Well, let's look at how consistent that happens, top striker. Then we could
we saw it in the semi-finals. We saw it in the finals again.
Let's see if it happens again. Then we might say, okay, his beginning most times is not really that strong. But I was listening to him after that, that game, and he talked about the fact that sometimes, you have to struggle at times to win. It rekindles in your mind that it's a competition. It's not just a stroll in the park. When he was asked that same question, about the fact that the team struggled, even him struggled to maybe leapfrog the likes of Brook Lopez. Coming out from where he is to, record that 29 points in the process, while the big man, managed to only, rack up 24. So I think the statement he made sums it up for me, top striker. Sometimes, you can't play well every single day. And as I said, what makes you a team is the ability of someone to step up if you get to that point when maybe on that day you're not as solid as you should be. So for Giannis Antetokounmpo, it wasn't a completely poor performance on the night, if you ask me. Of course, he's not in the level of what we expect, and there was a little competition between him and Kawhi Leonard on the other part. So I think for me, let's just believe it's that struggling game. And as you said, if the past is what to go by, then maybe, just maybe, we might see a Giannis Antetokounmpo coming up in the second game to do marvelously well. Now, as you pointed out, he didn't do well in the first game too in the semi against Boston Celtics. Would it be a trend? We wait to see. But now the first game has passed. Just maybe he might return with a bang in the next game.
Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Portland Trail Blazers comes up tonight. Do you expect a stroll in the park for the Warriors or the Blazers? Yet, with still no Kevin Durant.
The thing is, it's always going to be difficult. Yes, Golden State Warriors, took game 1, but it wasn't a stroll in the park for them. Let's put it that way. It's never a stroll in the park. It's a competition. And yes, the Trailblazers lost game 1, and they might want to come back, in game 2 to show that okay, they fought real hard to be here. They really fought so hard to be in the finals of the Western Conference. So I don't think it's going to be a stroll in the park. Golden State Warriors are also struggling on their day as well. Also struggle on your day. So, but the good thing is they do not rely on a particular man. Yes, Kevin Durant is out. There's a Steph Curry. There are other people. There are other players there that can also get the points for the Golden State Warriors. But the Trailblazers, they got here fighting so hard to be here. So which means the game 2 is not going to be a stroll in the park for the Golden State Warriors. Yes, is a home court advantage for them in Oakland as well, in California. But then I think it's going to be tough for the Golden State Warriors.
Wisdom, do you see the Trailblazers trying to come back to sting them? No Kevin Durant. He expects the Splash Brothers of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to also do the bidding again.
Well, Topsec, I think it would depend on one thing for me. How would they hold Steph Curry? Now, they must devise new strategies of getting to keep that guy in check. Now, the coach of the Blazers, talking about Terry Stotts, must find a way. I think most times the mistake most teams make is to completely attack one player and release the rest. Then, when those other rests start scoring during the game, you change your tactics and remind your players to mark these other people, and your strategy completely falls apart. So I think that's one thing that might really, really decide for me. If you decide to completely mark your defense on Steph Curry, which I advise you find a way to hold him. But if you completely put it against him, you release the likes of Klay Thompson, to step up on the day. Yes, there's no Kevin Durant. And of course, I highlighted the fact that was yesterday, the fact that, way back just before Kevin Durant joined them in 2016, they had a style which allowed everybody to get a complete shot. No man was the ace man to depend on when it comes to going forward. But at some point when Kevin Durant came in, they sort of, changed that style. But with Kevin Durant out now, we've seen them return to that, normal pattern. And of course, it has paid some dividends, even in the absence of Kevin Durant. So I think it will really depend on how they manage Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, yes, is there, and the other guys. But basically, if you can manage Steph Curry properly, he scored 36 points in the last game against them. It will really be important if they can find a way to hold him while still keeping the likes of Klay Thompson in check.
And of course, time to go to the phone line this afternoon and hear what the callers have to say. But we've started this afternoon from the world of golf, where we told you that the USPGA tournament that tees off today right there. Tiger Woods is seeking to win his 16th major right there. And of course, Bruce Koepka and Francesco Molinari all in the same group with him. And of course, while Jordan Spieth is also looking forward to winning his career slam. Should he win this one right there? Rory McIlroy also on the mix right there. We told you about the world of tennis, where Nick Kyrgios has been disqualified from the Rome Masters after he turned his eye on the crowd and carried a chair and slammed into the court right there. He has been disqualified in this game against the Dutchman. Talking about Casper Ruud in that encounter. What do you make about that man? And Nick Kyrgios, about his attitude and how he has related with fans, the umpire, his opponents in the course of his career. Do you think he should be given an outright ban or suspension, or should they carry out a check on him? And of course, the NBA Finals is currently on as we speak. Where do you think the pendulum will swing in the Eastern and the Western conferences? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, bro.
Your name and location, please.
I'm Ada calling from Oyibo.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
Please, my brother Chibuzo, I just want to appreciate you people for your certain talks that educate us, the listeners. But this year Western Conference, this one you just discussed now, many of us don't know about it. And you give it a very longer gap. Those ones that really know, like football, FPL, and all these other football activities, you don't give them much time like this.
Have you been following the program? Have you been following our program?
Pardon?
Have you been following our program?
Yes, I've been listening to the program, but this today on, I don't know. But talk more about football and other sports that we know. Than other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We don't just pick any random issue to discuss. It's a final of the NBA. Yes, you may not have knowledge about it, but there are people who are also following the game, just like golf. So people don't know golf at all. It wouldn't stop us from talking about golf. So just with time, you're going to understand it. Football is coming up after now. Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone in the studio.
Good afternoon.
Louis.
Good afternoon. Okay, it's Louis calling from Rupako.
Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Okay, please, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Has Nigerian male team ever won a medal in basketball in Olympics before?
No, they've not.
Okay, they will never. From what I saw on TV, my brother, they will never win.
What did you
Because
see?
Those guys are magnificent. I think some point that they score in basketball should be granted in 6 points, not 3 points anymore. Seriously. Seriously. Unbelievable shot that they score. Sometimes like 9 points if possible. Because it's always great seeing them score those points in. I'm not being African. I think like today we have something great and something nice. As I always say that basketball is one game you can always sit down, just and enjoy yourself and let them just do the rest. And about the guy that I sent talking about telling him in table tennis, in long tennis, sorry. My brother, seriously, that guy needs serious attention, medical attention. Because I was talking about him, I went into my YouTube to watch that guy. Nothing decent about that guy. He's not a role model of anybody. He's not a role model of anybody. And for you to play a long tennis in that standard, I guess one song is supposed to be, maybe, people feel like I think they do that, people feel like I never can tell. But for me, he's not a role model of anybody. I think he should be banned or he needs serious attention. Maybe I'm come out to the court.
Okay, thank you so much, Louis from Rukwaku this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Chibuzo and the rest crewmen and the lady there.
Good afternoon, Sele West.
Yeah, Nicky Ross is somewhat an erratic person, but if you watch, some of the empires like to trigger that guy. They know his weak points. Sometimes they would like to tempt him. When you are just like as you use boy.
Well, do have to call us back if you can, Sele West. Keep the calls coming through. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes. I bring you greetings from Orazi here.
No be dealing again?
No, I'm on my route to the stadium.
Okay, welcome, Obina.
Yes. Third striker. I know my brother that just called now will say I'll talk him. I like Nikirios. I love that guy. Yes,
you see yourself in him, Abi?
He said?
You see yourself in him?
You
see yourself in him?
No. Why would you say things like that? For the fact that I like don't like that. He's a national radio.
Go ahead.
Thank God, you don't finish me. No. I like that guy, but the problem I have is for my brother, sometimes everybody saying one thing, they can be wrong. It depends on where you find yourself. Everybody in the world of tennis, for me, they have this thing about this guy. Everything is, I'm telling you, anything when you in leg, they come out. Nobody will take time to say, why is this guy doing this thing? You saw the last time he just had a tennis he played. A fan made a gesture at him. He was like, you are all human beings. You came to watch tennis. It did not come for me for goodness sake. Some persons intentionally come to the stadium to just upset this guy. And when he reacts like a normal human being he is, and it will be as if he's a troublesome one. For me, they should first of all know waiting cause rearing from enter votes before they start to bail out. That guy is a human being. And I think so many persons is like they always want to use it to make headlines. Nikiros is my man, and they should please allow him for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Obina from Orazi. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. What do you make about Nick Kyrgios being disqualified right there in Rome because he held a chair and threw into the court, slammed it right there after he has also slammed his racket in the court right there in this game against Casper Ruud. The NBA Finals is currently on the East and the Western conferences right there. Of course, where do you think the pendulum will swing? Hello, good afternoon.
Top striker.
Lawson, welcome to the program.
Wow, Obina no go ever come up from controversy. It's funny. Some of the things he calls up to say, like, is mysterious. Do you know that man is 24? Are you 24 or 25 now?
24.
24. And look at what he's doing. Do you know Roger Federer at 20 was talking about 15 Grand Slam already at the age of 20? Nadal at the age of 25 he's talking about 15 Grand Slam. He has 4 Grand Slam to his name. And look at
Lawson, you say wait. You say Roger Federer at 15, at 20, he has 15 Grand Slam. At 20, 15 Grand Slam. 15 Grand Slam.
15 title. No.
Lawson.
Title's not Grand Slam.
Titles or Grand
15
Slam?
titles, sorry, 15 titles.
Don't confuse me now. Go ahead.
No, 15 titles. Now, look at him now. He has nothing to his name. And then look at what he's doing. When people are thinking of winning titles, look, you can imagine. Honestly, see, don't striker, I feel he is sick. He simply, there's something wrong with him medically. Normal human beings don't behave the way the curious behave. No, normal. Look at it now, honestly. Look at his behavior, it's kind. And then check it against a normal human being. Can a normal human being behave the way he's behaving? Something is medically wrong with him. So, for me, I feel he should be on the treatment table, not on the tennis court.
Okay.
Seriously, he should be on the treatment table. And please don't think that Tiger Woods is actually out of the woods. You know the way God is these days now. They beat each other.
Yeah,
you understand? I don't think it's out of Obina. You must not be quick at the last time. That's how you make it. And before you know, he was back again. So let us wait and check and see if you understand. He can probably maybe 1-2 and then we can now tell. But for now, I don't think he's out of the woods. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawson. Okay.
Dr. Shaka, before we move on, I think Nick Kyrgios knows he has a problem. Before the Australian Open, he went to see a psychiatrist for the tournament, and he said he was good enough, he was fit enough to go for any game, and that was why they let him play in that particular one. So I think he knows he has a problem, but acknowledging it seems to be the problem for Nick Kyrgios and looking for a way to get to work it out for himself, because it's giving him lots of issues, and I think he should keep going to see a psychiatrist if he wants to feel better for himself.
Over now to the MPFL we go this afternoon, where Rangers booked a place in the Nigerian Professional Football League Super 6 competition following a hard-fought 1-0 win against Bendel Insurance in the March the 20 encounter at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium yesterday. Of course, they call it the Cathedral. Substitute Felix Oguke scored the crucial goal for the Flying Antelopes 5 minutes before the end of regulation time. The Enugu club occupied the top spot in Group A of the MPFL table with 37 points from 20 games in Mina. MFM FC's hopes of qualifying or securing a playoff spot so far the setback after they went down to a 1-0 defeat to their host Niger Tornadoes in Mina. Ismail Asaki's early goal in the second minute was enough to give Tornadoes victory, as they now have moved to 10th position in the table and are 3 points away from safety, although after playing one game more than their fellow relegation battlers. In Umuahia, Samson Obi scored the lead penalty deep into stoppage time to help Abia Warriors to a 2-1 win over El Kanemi Warriors. The visitors took the lead 2 minutes into the game through Suli Mohammed, but Atilola Tunde Salami restored parity for the Warriors in the 39th minute before Obi's netted a winning goal deep into stoppage time. With this victory, Abia Warriors have jumped to 5th spot with 27 points from 20 games, while the Borno Army are still hanging onto the last playoff spot in Group B with 30 points. And of course, results of matches played yesterday. In Group A, Enugu Rangers defeated Insurance for Benin by a goal to nothing. Tornadoes defeated MFM FC by a lone goal, while in Group B, Abia Warriors defeated Academy Warriors by 2-1. Doctors, Enugu Rangers qualifying for the playoffs. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. Like I said before now, I said if they could continue winning their games, even yes, we know they had 3-game setback where they had to lose all 3 games, but then they came back at least winning 1-0. That also helped them a lot. I knew Enugu Rangers were going to go to the playoff because they looked like a team that were eager to get back to the continent, and yes, they had been pretty well for themselves.
Wisdom, consecutive victories for Abia Warriors, 3 on the bounce, who are now 5th on the log. Emmanuel Dutch must have the magic wand.
Well, I would not lie. At the beginning of that one, when I was getting infiltrating reports, I felt they've lost it. 1-0. I said, okay, it's Abia Warriors. They'll find a way to draw, maybe, but I never saw it coming. Even if the late goal was by Samson Obi. I think for Abia Warriors, it could just be that the man who knows how to fix that team, has returned. Credit must continue going to him at this point in time, because we saw that the former coach struggled with this side, and of course in the MPFL 3 points mean a whole lot. I tell you,
they were tense before this game.
They've pushed themselves, although let's wait till the other teams still play, but of course I know they won't be in the relegation waters anymore. Be that as it may, top striker, I think it's a good one for Abia Warriors. Emmanuel Dutch also showing, because of course it will go down into some sort of history in the minds of people that you came back and you were able to rejig this side. Of course, it's not the biggest of side when it comes to issues. Now, when the other coach was leaving, he talked about the fact that there are a lot of issues with the side.
Henry Makiwa.
There are a lot of issues with the side, as much as the stadium problem. That stadium is not fit enough. And the promises they made to him, talking about Henry Makiwa now, just before the season started, that they've not been able to keep to it. Insiders were able to report, even if he just said it's because of some disagreements with the management. So I think it's a good one for Abia Warriors. I just hope it continues happening. There's still a chance, slim chance to make it in the playoffs if possible, but I think they'll be safe this season out of the
relegation. You, MFM FC lost to Tornadoes. What does this defeat do to their hopes of making it to the playoffs?
It dashes it a lot, Top Striker, I tell you. It dashes their chances. Now, they are just 2 points above Rivers United, about 3 points above Sunshine Stars. They have 29 points, Rivers are on 27, Sunshine on 26. Now, if Rivers United is to get a positive result today, Rivers United will leapfrog them into 4th place. If Sunshine Stars to get a positive result,
leapfrog Eyimba as well.
Depending on what happens,
29 points as well.
Depending on what happens, for Eyimba, because Eyimba still has a game to play today, so maybe that's why I didn't put them. But of course, Rivers United have a chance to push into the playoffs, as the case may be. So I think for me, MFMFC, they started like a house on fire, and that's the problem. Your ability to sustain it. I always call it strategy. Technique is the short term, strategy is the long term. Your ability to keep focus to what is the goal. Now we saw a Rangers FC hold themselves until they've gathered enough points to start losing. I don't know the circumstances behind their losses. Yes, might be injuries, might be fatigue, but they won consistently. We saw Luby Stars also come back, and of course they know what's at stake and they're picking the points. We saw some teams like Akwa United, ever since that loss at the beginning, push themselves back and have continued to get some back-to-back wins, even if they've gotten some losses and draws in the process. So I think for me, MFMFC have already hit a huge stumbling block now they've put by themselves in their path. Yes, it was not an easy game to go to Niger Tornadoes, but of course, the easy one of the easiest side in the leagues, I tell you. Even if some teams have not been able to get a result, but at least a draw would have been good to keep their hopes, their chances, of getting into the playoffs. But of course, Top Striker, there's still a huge chance for them to get in. It's 2 games left. Anything can still happen.
Until games to expect today, Katsina United will be up against Sunshine Stars. Rivers United will play host to Luby Stars right there at Yakubu Gowon Stadium. Wiki Taurus up against Kwara United as Remo Stars and Shagamu will entertain the People's Elephant Eyimba in Group B. Delta Force in Asaba will play host to Akwa United. Goran FC in Omoku will entertain Plateau United. FC Fanyuba in Umudim will play host to Heartland FC in an Oriental Derby, as Nasarawa United will do battle with Gombe United in Lafayette. Yobe Disasters in Damaturu will also play Kano Pillars. Dorcas Rivers United host Luby Stars in a tale of 2 teams seeking to make it to the playoffs. Who do you think will edge this one?
Rivers United seem to be quite confident at home this period. In their last 3 games, they've been confident as well at home. They've been picking the points that they really need. It's been also helping them so far, looking at the fact that they are also 4th on the log right now, 5th on the log right now. If they get to win this one, like we said, like Wisdom and you just established, they would be leapfrogging either, they would be leapfrogging even exactly an Eyimba. So if they get to that, and if Eyimba do not get to pick points where against they're going to play, so I think it's going to be a game that, and then they are playing the defending champion. Let's not forget that it's going to be tough. Yes, not much as yes, they got points from Enugu Prince and also Eyimba as well here in Port Harcourt. Let's see how this is going to pan out for them. They know how to get the points here at home, so let's just see how it's going to pan out. But I think it's going to be difficult for Rivers United today.
Wisdom, Eyimba are yet to win away from home in the league this season. Can they get it right in Shagamu?
Well, it's not the most difficult site to play. It's not the most difficult of places to play, and right now they don't have anything to lose. A man who is down, of course, as they say, fears no foe. So I think for me, Eyimba can get something out of this if they are determined enough. Now, Abdul the coach talking about Usman Abdallah, after the last game, was talking about the fact that they took the game too casually. The attitude of the boys was not good enough. I want to believe that he has worked on that, and that might have improved, and they would understand what's at stake. Now, at this point in the season, it's not at this point in the season, it's just 2 games left. After this one game, make it 3 for them now.
You have Tornadoes and Katsina United.
Of course. So it's not times to play. It's not times to play with points, because any point you get could actually be quite crucial for you to make it. Now, Enyimba is not an average side. They are not a side that are looking to just survive in the league. They're a side that are looking to be champions. So the key, yes, of course, now the key point at this time is to make it into the playoffs. But their attitude, of course, has not been the best. If I'm to borrow the words of Usman Abdallah, but the team generally this season has not been at the same level we've known Enyimba to be. But, take nothing away from them. The past few games, make that 6, 7 or 8 now, they were able to keep an unbeaten, unbeaten run down, to this stage. So I think for me, they can get a point at Remo Stars. The best place to get, for me, away 3 points now at this point in the season, except they want to spoil your party, would be Remo Stars.
And of course, and Dorcas, what's the name? Aqua United are the guests of Delta Force in Asaba. Can they get a result right there?
Yeah, I think they can. They can get the results. But the thing is, we know how Delta Force are. They get to, they seem to be getting points even away from home these days. They went to Economy Warriors and also got points as well from there. So I think it's going to be difficult. Also, they know how to get the points away from home, and I see that ending in a draw to favor also Delta Force, because I think they can also smuggle out a draw in that particular fixture.
In Omaku, Goran FC entertain Plateau United. What does this match mean to the two teams?
It means safety. It means safety, and it means a chance to save yourself. Because I don't think any of them would making it to the playoffs at this point in time. Of course, nothing is impossible in Nigerian football. As long as you still have a slim chance in points, then anything can still happen. But for Go Round FC, they have to look for a way to get themselves saved. I think that's the one that matters to me now. Plateau United must also find a way. But for Go Round FC, they have to look for a way to keep themselves in the league. A very, very good side with solid support. At some points, I think before the last game, the owner of the side tried to give some motivation in terms of cash and everything to the boys. So I think they have to just look for a way to repay the kind of investment and hope and love too that has been shown them by the management of the side. So I would want to fancy Go Round FC to actually get this one against Plateau United.
FC Ifeanyi hosts Heartland and Rental Derby. What would it mean if FC Ifeanyi failed to win this game?
Well, it would mean the hopes of the playoffs might be dashing for them, crashing out for them. So I think they understand what's at stake. But the question would be, how easy would it be to get one against Heartland FC? It's not just any side. It's a side that, of course, is a traditional side when it comes to the southeast. Mini rental, they call it at times. So they could get away and clearly pick points. They throw their form out of the window when they play some of these matches. So I think it would be difficult for FC Ifeanyi, but hopefully they know what's at stake.
Rivers United, Lobby Stars.
I think it's going to be a draw.
A draw?
Yes.
Remo Stars, Enyimba?
Enyimba win or draw.
Kano players are also trying to break into the playoff. They are somewhere around there, and they are going all the way to the Maturu Yobedeza Stars. Can you call that one?
Whoa. Kano players will beat Yobedeza Stars.
Will beat Yobedeza Stars.
Let it be the only fairy tale prediction I made today.
And quickly, Delta Force, Aqua United.
Aqua United will take the day.
And of course, time to go to the phone lines and hear what the callers have to say about the MPFL match. The 20 games that we played today. Some games we played yesterday. Let's hear from you. 0817 00951 and 0810951091. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Chibuzo, I was talking network, not me off.
Okay, sorry about that. Welcome back. Quickly.
You see, that would be now Polo tennis very well. You see, that young guy, he has no mental problem. He's just an erratic, human being. And every human being has one or two problems, Nobody's perfect. I understand. But the game is a perfect gentleman. He plays the game very well. But he needs to work on his motion, Sometimes, they allow his motion to overwhelm him. That is his problem. So they should not ban him. We need such people in tennis, He's good. Doctors, Lobista is going to fall today, please. There's nothing like draw. There's nothing like draw. It's 3 points at stake. That is the game, eh? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella West. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, let me greet my good friend Obina in the studio. I greet you, Obina.
I greet you too, Obina.
I can believe you me, Nadia millionaires, we are throwing form out of the window this evening. Believe you me, the best result FC Ifeanyi will get today, we will win them with a slim margin. That's if they play very well. We are not coming back from Navy with 1 point. We are going for the 3 points. Thank God that our Diago Costa is back. We will win them hands down. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Obina. Hello, good afternoon.
Top striker.
Lawson, welcome back.
Is anything like next gen actually in tennis? Because when you look at it, is there anyone that is under 20? They are all above 20, the so-called next gen. And they don't have their name. Their trophy cabinets are still empty. So why are we always talking about next gen? Really? And this NPFL, what is the struggle for this top six, and then they go to the continent, and at the end of the day, nothing? Why do we worry ourselves? Really? Because all this struggle and talk, at the end of the day, they have nothing to show for it. So I don't think that there is anything interesting about so-called top six. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawson. What now to the message portal, Docus?
Yes, it's coming from Obiora from Anambra State. He said, Ifan Yuba have been quite disappointed these days, and he thinks the match is going to end in a draw. That's against Heartland FC. And then Tony saying, Sports Crew, when will the FA Cup take place? Coming from Dominion Peters. Sonny is saying, good PM Sport Gang. My name is Fresh Texan from Alo. Please, I want to know if Aqua United has qualified for the top 6 playoff, and is Hazard leaving Chelsea? When is Pulisic coming to Chelsea? And then this one is saying, this is coming from Chima. He said, please update him about the Super Falcons game. And then this one is coming from Emmanuel Forumigbo. He says, Rivers United should watch out for Yaya Kone and the Ivorian striker who plays for Lobby Stars. And someone is saying, this is obviously Obina. He's saying, good afternoon, Tosh. Okay, son is coming from Obina. I said, great Obina from Heartland. I heard him well. I think he's talking about Obina right now.
And of course, for the update, he was talking about the Super Falcons will be up against Ghana in the semi-final today of the Waffle Women's B Cup. And right there, and of course, the other semi-final will see Côte d'Ivoire, the host nation, play the other people from Nigeria's group, Mali, in the other semi-final. Right there. There's reported interest that 86 million pounds has been agreed between Chelsea and Real Madrid for Eden Hazard to move. Christian Pulisic will be coming to Chelsea come next season, hopefully right there. Of course, the FA Cup final should be next weekend at Wembley.
18th.
And of course, that's 18th has to be this weekend. One more call for the road. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Sele West. I called back.
Short and simple.
Yeah, the Obina I'm commended is not the guy in the studio, it's the caller.
Okay, Obina from Orazi.
But the Enyimba match with Wikitori.
No, not Remo Stars.
No, the one they played last week.
Okay.
They did not step on any of their foot. You know, Wikitori, they are very difficult side to play. Very, very difficult.
Okay.
Enyimba played all they had, all they know, but they couldn't score.
Thank you so much, Sele West. The time that our friends will talk sports right here in the building. Many thanks to Jokas and Obina. And of course, many thanks for your listening pleasure. If not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sport. Bye-bye and stay blessed.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeimi Andrew. The Senate has summoned the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, to appear before it next Tuesday. Senate President Bukola Saraki made the announcement during plenary. He said the minister is to appear before the Senate to brief them on the current state of facilities in Nigeria teaching hospitals. The Senate had last week resolved to invite the minister over a motion sponsored by Senator David Umar, querying the state of the nation's teaching hospitals. Meanwhile, the Senate has passed the Public Holiday Act Amendment Bill to recognize June 12th as the new Democracy Day. The bill was passed almost 1 year after President Muhammadu Buhari announced that the date would replace May 29 for Nigerians to commemorate the return to civilian government. While some members of the National Assembly had criticized the president that Democracy Day cannot be changed by just a declaration, others commended his decision. President Buhari's declaration was later approved in the Senate by an act of parliament after the lawmakers considered the bill seeking to amend the Public Holiday Act on Thursday. The bill, which is in concurrence with that of the House of Representatives, will now be forwarded to the president for assent. And it has now been observed that some traders who own shops at the Rumokoro market have refused to make use of them. Our correspondent Ifunanya Obeme Undukwe observed that the traders prefer to display their goods on the roadside to enable them attract more customers. Some of the traders who spoke with our correspondent said they cannot afford the cost of the shops in the market, leaving them with no choice than to sell on the roadside. They therefore appealed to the state government to reduce the price for renting the shops to enable them return to the market. The call is coming on the deadline issued by the government for the stoppage of roadside trading, which comes to an end soon. And on the foreign scene, an international crime gang which used malware to steal $100 million from more than 40,000 victims have been dismantled. A complex police operation conducted investigations in the US, Bulgaria, Germany, Georgia, Moldova, and Ukraine. The gang infected computers with Gosnim malware, which captured online banking details to access bank accounts. The gang was put together from criminals who advertised their skills on online forums. The details of the operation was revealed at the headquarters of the European Police Agency and Europol in The Hague. It said that the investigation was unprecedented, especially in terms of cross-border cooperation. And that's it on the news update. Thank you for your time. Stay tuned.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt. Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
I can feel it. It's going to be big. 2 brands tested and trusted in the Nigerian entertainment industry. 1 World Global Records and MSN Gang.
Coming to PH City, Oshefili Community Hall. Performing live, Two-Face, Don't Get Mighty, Techno, Young Sam, Harrison, Orexi, Young Six, Godons, Abororo, I Go Die, Sheilo, Kenny Black, and many more. On the wheels of steel, DJ Neptune, DJ KYs, and many more. Host Tom Bobele and Amanda. Date 26th May 2019. Red carpet 5 p.m. Main event 6 p.m. Aztec Arco, Stedon Road, Port Harcourt. Ticket regular 2,000 naira. Table 1 million naira. Get your ticket at Port Harcourt Mall, Old Kilimanjaro Outlet, Genesis Center GRA, and www.teleafricaticket.com. For inquiries, call 0706 608 9187. Oshefili Community Hall. Supported by Hip TV, Night House Lord, Fufu NG, Penula Events, Petrus Guards, PH Mega Fashion Show, Niger Vibes, Palm Drive, PHC Promo, Cake Market, Wise Man Media, and Today FM.
Thomas Edison, who lived from 1847 to 1931, was quoted as saying in 1890 that non-violence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Encourage peace in the city and report violence. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not harm. Thou shalt not be violent. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Every child deserves to be happy. Every child deserves to laugh.
Years after Nigeria adopted international prohibitions of child labor into law, millions of children in the country are still engaged in child labor activities. The International Labour Organization estimates that about 25% of Nigeria's 80 million children under the age of 14 are now in the workforce. Every child deserves a childhood. Let us all rise in every hood to give every child, regardless creed, belief, or tribe, a pleasant childhood filled with laughter. This message is brought to you by the voice of the people. Today 95.1 FM.
Wow, baby, I love what I'm singing. Let's go have some fun. Me and you together.
You have protection?
No, I don't have protection.
Have you checked the HIV status?
Come on, I don't womanize. I'm a clean guy.
Today, HIV and AIDS is a major global health emergency affecting all regions of the world, causing millions of deaths and sufferings. It is the leading infectious cause of adult death in the world, and about 19 million out of the 35 million people living with HIV globally do not know their HIV status. This has led to delayed treatments, spread of the virus, wrong decisions about their health, and ultimately death. You cannot protect yourself or the health of others if you don't know what to look out for. Be informed about your health and your future. Be responsible about your sex life. Get tested and know your status today. This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Yesterday, like every other day, I had it all, but now it's all gone.
For crying out loud, why do you leave me at this point in time? Oh my God. In my life now. I couldn't do a thing like that to me. What on earth did I do to this?
Suicide is a practice that is fast gaining dominance in Nigeria. Suicide is the intentional act of taking one's life. Within the first quarter of 2017 alone, many Nigerians have subscribed to suicide as a means to escaping depression, severe anxiety, acute stress, terminal diseases, lack of money or hope for survival, mental disorder, or even a heartbreak. The World Health Organization revealed that no fewer than 1 million people die annually from suicide, which represents a global mortality rate of 16 people per 100,000, or one death in every 40 seconds. It is also a fact that approximately 10 to 20 million people attempt suicide every year. But is anything worth dying for? Suicide is a major public health concern, but it is preventable. Talk to someone when you feel depressed. You can also prevent others from a suicide attempt by contacting the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative on 080-621-06493 or 080-921-06493. Choose to live today because life is beautiful. This message is powered by your premium talk radio, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique dial.
All stands, greet.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English? Yes, sir. Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your pen. Carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. The sins of this people, many. So many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiplier. The answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie.
now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party gang. As how you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then agree to grant and bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, oh yeah, join Jamba Jantis, make we solve mathematics.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah!
The platform on radio serves only the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
Now, part of what we have proposed before is that in order to deal with this matter, can you create the Ogoni field into a block and take, maybe you break the OMA 11 into 2 or 3 blocks and make the Ogoni field a separate block so that you know you're dealing with the Ogoni whenever you're talking about this particular block. But now you cannot say you're talking to it because you cannot say you're dealing with the Ogoni, you're talking about OMA 11. OMA 11 is not equal to Ogoni. So we've said break it into 2 or 3 blocks and create the Ogoni block out of that whole block. It makes you to isolate the problem you want to deal with and focus on addressing that problem. So for me, the first step would have been to break the thing into 2, make this Ogoni block, and then you want to do the engagement with the Ogoni people because these are the people that have had problems with the state and share.
That was the voice of MASOP President Legbosi Piagbara speaking on the issues surrounding the OML 11. It's 15 minutes past 4 o'clock. I'd love to welcome you to another edition of the platform on radio here on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Ifeemi Andrew, your regular host, and I'll be giving you insight into some of the news reports making the rounds. The platform on radio is a program where we come to dissect trending issues alongside correspondent reports. Our correspondents are out there sourcing reports from the field, and on this program we take those reports and also have them give us more details. So just you get a chance to hear what is not entirely in the news. Now, before we kickstart, let's see what we have on the menu. MASOP advocates for creation of special Ogoni oil field from controversial OML 11. River State Police faults crime-affected communities for always running first to media to report incidents of crime instead of security agencies. And traders in Rumokoro Market lament high cost of shops, forcing them to trade on roadside to maximize profit. Well, that's some of the things you'd expect to hear on the show. But before we continue, let's take a very short commercial break.
Port Harcourt, Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
All right, welcome back from that very short commercial break. Still the platform on radio on Today 95.1 FM. Now let's move on. Yes, So the movement for the survival of Ogoni people have now suggested the creation of a special Ogoni oil field from the controversial OML 11, which spans across several communities in the Niger Delta. I think we listened to Legbosi Piagwara and we understood why this suggestion is being made. So you're dealing with Ogoni people, you're dealing with Ogoni people on that particular platform. You understand the point. Because if you want to look at the controversial OML, it's beyond just Ogoni. But now, if you're looking at Ogoni in particular, they should have something that's concerning them. That's what the president of MASOP was saying. He made the suggestion and said the move would enable the federal government deal directly, like I was just rightly saying, with Ogoni people on issues between them and SPDC. Piagbara spoke in an interview with our correspondent Chinedu Nwuna, who we would be speaking with live in the studio. But he said that according to Piagbara, it would be difficult for the federal government to, in an attempt to deal with the issues between Ogoni people and SPDC, make decisions that will affect other communities who do not have issues with the oil company.
Now, part of what we have proposed before is that in order to deal with this matter, can you create the Ogoni field into a block and maybe you bring the OMA 11 into 2 or 3 blocks and make the Ogoni field a separate block so that you know you're dealing with Ogoni whenever you're talking about this particular block. But now you cannot say you're talking to it because you cannot say you're dealing with Ogoni, you're talking about OMA 11. OMA 11 is not equal to Ogoni. So we've said break it into 2 or 3 blocks and create the Ogoni block out of that whole block. It makes you to isolate the problem you want to deal with and focus on addressing that problem. So for me, the first step would have been to break the thing into 2, make this Ogoni block, and then you want to do the engagement with Ogoni people because these are the people that have had problems with the state and share.
The MASOP president also dismissed recent reports claiming that unqualified companies were being awarded contracts for the cleanup of Ogoni land, describing the report as unbalanced.
If a company was given lot A to clean, I think the issue should have been, have they mobilized to site? Are they doing the work according to standards? Today, IPREP has signed a contract with UNEP, which of course carry out the study. And they're in the best position to say, this is what is right and this is what is wrong. Today, UNEP is on the ground to also validate whatever that is being done. And we don't think that UNEP will come here to compromise their reputation with anybody. If they were able to tell Shell in the time of the assessment that out of the 15 cleanup you claim to have done, 10 was not right, why would they not tell any other company? So I think it is still too early in the day to jump into some conclusions that we're jumping into. I think IPREP is taking all the steps necessary to ensure that the best of things are done on the ground.
Right, we'll be speaking with Chinedu, our correspondent, who spoke with the MASOP president on this particular issue. But then before we get to hear from him, do you think the creation of a special Ogoni oil field from the OML 11, as suggested by MASOP, will resolve the issues surrounding the oil field? Chinedu, good evening.
Good evening, Andrew.
Well, we heard him, though, but you were there with him. So what else did he say that we may not have heard now?
Well, basically, that's a suggestion that could help solve the issue. You know, OML 11 has always been controversial. And then there is this notion that OML 11 is for Ogoni people. But he is saying that OML 11 spans across a lot of communities in the Niger Delta. So if the federal government is taking any decision concerning the OML 11 and is based on resolving the issues between Ogoni people and Shell, who have always operated there, then it will make sense if communities who have no issues with Shell are affected by the decision or directive. Recently the president gave a directive that the operatorship license be given to MPDC from Shell, and this because Ogoni people have always had issues with Shell, for environmental issues basically. So how about the communities who do not have issues with Shell? It's basically what they are asking. If they can create a special, let's say Ogoni oil block from the OML 11, so that when you're dealing with the issues, you're dealing with Ogoni people. And directly. Then without, of course, unnecessary.
But if we're going to tour that path, wouldn't other communities also begin to clamor for the same thing in the region, saying they need
their own
dedicated to them?
Well, we don't know the implication of that. But the thing is, when you mention Omen 11, the most people you will hear is Ogoni people. In fact, the latest directive by the president, a letter has been written by MOSOP telling the president they are not comfortable with it. But that's more like them speaking for everybody who is under Omen 11. And they are just MOSOP for Ogoni people. How about those in Boni? How about Andoni? You understand? So that's why they say, deal with us directly. If you want to solve this issue, they believe it could help directly deal with the issues as it affects Ogoni people. It might not have of course, it could have its own implication, but we don't know yet. Maybe when we get there,
we'll find out.
Looking for how to.
All right, thank you very much, Chinedu. All right, quickly, let me remind you all, you can send us messages on 0701 933 9962. But before you do that, please, you should listen to this and react adequately. The River State Police Command now says that it is wrong for members of crime-affected communities to first run to the press to report crimes instead of the police. In other words, the police should be a first point of call if there is crime in your locality or vicinity, right? The spokesman of the command was the person who stated this, Nnamdi Omoni. He was reacting to a situation at Iriebe community, somewhere in Obiakwa local government area in Port Harcourt, River State, and said residents of the community were alleged to have reported suspicious plots by hoodlums to a radio station, which he said informed the criminals to escape before the arrival of the police. Now, that's a very critical point. When he says inform, is he saying perhaps the radio station talked about it and the criminals heard? Possibly, maybe the report was made and then they tried to raise awareness by talking about it, and then you can't stop a criminal from having a radio, so maybe they listened and heard, and then they could have taken to their heels before the police arrived. Or is he suggesting that some people might have informed the hoodlums? That's where we're looking at that particular statement, because he says that the radio station informed criminals to escape before the arrival of the police. Omoni is the Deputy Superintendent of Police. In an interview with our correspondent, he said, when you do such, plans by security agents to apprehend the criminals before the crime may be defeated.
People are not helping us at all, and you, the press, too. I think you're being complicit because when these matters come up, you don't refer them to the appropriate quarters. If you have any security reports, you should be able to go to the police for whatever it is worth. The press should be the last option, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, now they're noticing some presence of some criminals or some suspicious faces around. They should have gone to the nearest police station to report. As to speak up to now, we still have deployments over there. We still have our men stationed in this troubled area. Our men are still there. So if for any reason they have reports to make, they should go to the men. Or better still, explore the option of having our numbers to call us. And not to go to the press. The press, I know we are partners in progress, we're on the same page, but the press should be the last, not the...
So what do you now make of the position of the police spokesman? Very interesting. Where should people then run first to get faster response during any attack? Because the reason why many people would speak to radio stations is because they feel radio stations have contacts to the police, and the police might respond faster if someone from a radio station is relaying the message, or if a radio station is relaying the message as against an individual. I mean, we've heard times where people report to the police and it takes ages. And the fact that and I keep asking the question because recently I observed it, a particular lodge close to where I'm living, a building was being robbed by some hoodlums, and somehow some people got knowledge of it and called the police, and everybody was complaining because they said if the police had not blown their siren while they were coming, they would have been able to apprehend those boys because the boys were not aware that the police were coming. But then when the police started blasting the sirens from afar before they got to the crime scene, those boys heard the sirens and people could see them from their windows. They scampered and left. So the situation was, if the police were informed early and they had come without blowing sirens, because it was at night, there's no traffic, there's nothing. So I think if you really want the element of surprise, it's smarter to not blow sirens. Just come and apprehend whoever it is that you have to apprehend. But we don't know why they do it, but they blow it every time. And people feel coming to radio stations or informing radio stations would be the quickest way to get the police to act. There's also, don't forget, reports that police officers are called when there are crime issues and you don't get quick response. There's always been a complaint about the response time of police officers, especially when crime is going down. People will say most of the times, in about 100, you could say in 170% of the times, police officers arrive scene of crime after the crime has been concluded. So, who should people run to first to get a faster response during any attack by criminals is another question. We'll go to our phone lines now and hear what you think. 0817 0000951 and 0810 9510951. Those are the numbers to call. If you want to send a message, you could do it on 0701 933 9962. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Hello, you're welcome.
Jude from Hollywood.
All right, Jude, go ahead.
Yes, I want to talk about this Ogoni cleanup issue. I have told my brothers in Ogoni land that they should forget about this cleanup thing. Hausa man cannot come from Asurok to clean Ogoni land. Let us talk about how to separate from this, how to secede and leave this country. Let us talk about Biafra. That is the only way.
No, but that's not what we're discussing now on the show.
Hello? That's the only way them they say can claim their land. It is not waiting for a northerner coming all the way from Abuja or from to come and clean. They are wasting their time. Their resources are being used. Let us come together and form and just secede, leave this country so that we will do whatever we want to do with our resources here in southeast south. We call us southeast south. We are Biafran. We shouldn't be talking about.
Thank you very much, but we're not. That's not what we're conversating on. If you want to air your views, you should be basically within the perimeters of what we're talking. Thank you. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome. Your name, please?
I am Moses, and I'm calling from Obibo.
All right, Moses, go ahead.
The truth is that I want to speak on the police response issue. We have lost confidence in our Nigerian police. And that is the reason why people are looking for different alternatives, either on social media, Facebook, or maybe to the radio station. As a matter of fact, we prefer the radio station to just blast it on the air. You see, the chicken is not crying because of the hawk that carried the child. It's just for people to know that he was not the one that killed the child. You see, so we want the social media and the radio station to keep saying it. Nigerian police has failed us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes. This is Paul.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. I want to respond to the police response to criminal districts. You see, one of the reasons why police blew siren from far is to notify those people that they are coming so that
are you a police officer?
I am an ex-police officer.
You're an ex-police officer?
Yes.
Which station did you serve? Which station?
I served in operations.
Which station?
Popularly called BIOS, Ops and Training, the Department of Nigerian Police Force.
Okay.
One of the reasons is that, yes, police are human beings. So it is better to save a situation than to be killed.
Is that a standard protocol, or is it something that police officers do on their own?
It's not a standard protocol, but it's just for self-defense. Then secondly, I want to disagree with the man that said that Nigeria should get out, Ogun should go out of Nigeria before they will talk of cleanup. It is the Igbos that betray Ogoni, and we cannot join them. We are not Biafrans. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. Well, once again, the argument is not whether there's Biafra or not. Okay, so let's focus on what we are discussing. And let me also tell us that it has been observed that some traders who own shops at the Rumokoro market have now refused to make use of the shops in the market. Our correspondent Ifunanya Obeme Undukwe observed that the traders prefer to display their goods on the roadside to enable them attract more customers. Some of the traders we spoke with our correspondent actually said that they cannot afford the cost of the shops in the market. And this is the reason why they have decided to come to the roadside to sell. They said about 20,000 naira is what you need to pay. That's the cost. And it leaves them with no choice but to sell along the roadside. And they are therefore appealing with the state government to also reduce the price of renting a shop to enable them return back to the markets. Let's listen to them.
The place is not in the center. As in, so far, Rumokoro is there and Slaughter is there, that customers will not come to this place very high. But now, the price is at least, the man said 20,000 naira, and it's not 20,000 naira just to stay outside. Why? Because those people outside, when they want to rent the market, they put high price, 300,000, 200. So when you enter the market, say you want to rent a shop, my sister, you are in trouble. Because the money they will. So if government will give order to carry the rent of the shop down, everybody choose to enter market.
Like our governor can give to empower their task force to move them to here. That's when here we. There are people that have shop here and they are in slaughter now selling. So that.
Well, the call is coming as the deadline issued by the government for the stoppage of roadside trading comes to an end. Our correspondent Ifunaya is with us in the studio. She would be speaking with us and giving us more details. Ifunaya, good evening. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we hear some of the women there complaining about cost of of renting a shop in the market, and that has prompted them to come to the roadside. And we're also aware that there's a ban on roadside trading imposed by the state government. Yeah. So the women you spoke with, what suggestions did they say that can be taken from them that would help their situation?
Well, first of all, one of the ladies, she said the amount for the rent should be reduced. Okay. And when it's reduced, that she thinks nobody wants to actually stay outside to sell because of the discomfort, the rain, the sun. So she said, let the prices be reduced. And people will gladly...
Did she state like what range they are looking at as a group of market women association, or did she state what price she would be looking at as an individual?
No, they didn't actually specify on a particular amount, but I believe they want a price that's as petty traders.
Okay.
The amount that petty traders can afford.
So currently, how much does it stand at to rent a shop in the market?
Well, I can't really confirm how much it is because one of the ladies said 20,000 naira. So I can't confirm if the 20,000 naira is for a month or for a year, but I think it should be for a year.
Okay. All right. And then again, there are plans now because they are staying on the roadside and there's a ban on it. The ultimatum is ended. Did they say anything about, vacating the roadside?
No, they didn't really say anything about vacating.
So we might have to still see them continue on the roadside, regardless of the ban on it.
Yes, okay. Because most of the shops inside are already rented.
Okay.
So some of them can actually rent for those that would like to rent.
Are there any free shops inside the market? Did you take note of? I mean, perhaps
there are some shops that are actually locked up.
Okay.
There are some shops that are locked up
and not occupied by anybody.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ifunaya, for the details.
You're welcome.
All right. So now there are shops that are locked up. Some are free. So perhaps if these women change their mind and want to go into the market, if they somehow magically can raise that money, then there's space for them. But think about what they sell. How much do they make in a day? Remember the expenses of life in Port Harcourt. You have to pay your house rent, feed your kids, your transportation, and all of these things put together. How can they then cope and also meet up with that amount of monies for renting a shop? It's a government facility, so it's supposed to be as cheap as possible so ordinary citizens of Rivers State who pay taxes can have easy access to them. Is there any hope coming for these women who are complaining about the situation? Remember that the ban on roadside trading is effective, and that would also disturb their trade. Now, the roadside is where they come out to trade, and if the ban kicks off, they would have to be kicked out of the roadside, and they can't go into the market. Why? Shops are expensive, according to them. So, what should be done to encourage traders to use the shops inside the market while also ensuring that customers go into those shops to meet them and purchase items from there. Let's go back to the phone lines and get your thoughts on this. 0810 9510 951. 0810 9510 951 or 0817 0000951. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. This is John from Malu.
All right, John, go ahead.
Yeah, in regards to the report concerning the Nigeria police, the plain truth is that we all know that to a very large extent, the Nigeria police have actually not met up to their expectations. And to a very large extent, they have actually failed the populace, which they ought to protect. But that does not really put away the simple truth that in crime, to comb crime, the very first persons to reach out to is the police, not the media house. Because if I reach out to the media house, obviously the media house is still going to reach out to the police. Either I call the police as an individual and they delay to come, is that it's the same thing that when the media house calls, the same way they will delay to come. So the bone of contention here it's clear that the police should be reached first before the media house. But what we need to do in collaboration with the media house is to let the police know or to charge the police on the need for them to respond to this threat call faster than the way they do. Because it has become a tradition when you call out to the police. I can give experience, me as an individual. In recent times, some group of hoodlums came to my house, shooting sporadically in my environment. I'm living in Alu, and they even dug my protector, and meet me with a gun in my house. But you know that I reached out to the police. It took the police 45 minutes before they could move down to where I was.
How close was the police station to your place?
It's just not less than six pillar electric pole to a police station. Less than 6 pillars. But it took them more than 45 minutes before they could come. So it's obvious that they have failed in that angle, but it's not still enough reason. I have Today's FM, I have Nigeria Info, I have Wazobi, I have Wave FM, but I never call any of them. I call the police office, the police sex. So if I called you in the media house, that does not mean that they will come on time. Or the media are going to fight the fight of going to fight a crime. No. You don't have the media don't have what it takes to fight a crime. Rather, it's the police that have what it takes to fight a crime. So they should be reached first before the media house.
Okay.
Even as we ask them to wake up from that slumber to respond to this calls on time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Another thing is, how available are police contacts? For instance, in America, 911, very simple, very short, very easy to remember, and very, very active. You call, no network issues. You're connected. Sometimes people complain of calling police and then you're asked a lot of questions while crime is ongoing and you're calling to report a crime. I think necessary questions should be asked first, and then any other details gotten later when you sort out the problem. And we've also complained at how long police phone numbers are. It's difficult when you want an emergency response number to be called upon every time, and then you make it an 11-digit number. Isn't that supposed to be also looked into? And the fact that it's not available readily, there's no sort of publicity about the police numbers, or not much publicity being done about it. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Jones. I'm calling from Roma Lumeni.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, this topic is it comes at the right time. I don't know if the policeman, the PPRO, is at the studio there.
No, he's not.
I wanted to know what has happened to that 112 emergency number. That when you call it, nothing seems to be happening. And there are no numbers again to call that police will respond to you. This kind of terror we are going through now in some communities, especially in Ukpo where I live, I expect that there will be an emergency number to call so that one can easily reach police, even though it takes them a long time to come. Let it be that there is a little confidence that police will really come. But a situation where the emergency number is not working, you really don't know the numbers to call when one is in distress. It's so terrible. And you come to Mbona and Mbodoya, it's such an insecure place that even by 7 o'clock, people are already in their houses, locked everywhere. And it seems that nothing is being done. And we have a police station here by the university, University of College of University of Education. Anytime you go there to make entry, or you tell them, they want you to drop money before they will even come and answer you. It's such a nasty situation we found ourselves. And as I speak with you now, I'm by secondary school. Police checkpoint is there. All they are just doing there now is just collecting money. I am just a pole away from them, and I'm watching. They are just collecting money. If there is any situation now, you run to them. The next thing is just to enter their vehicle and run away.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your contribution, though.
Thank you.
Well, we heard the man and what he has just said. Well, I wish a police officer could call in and give us, and maybe put a defense or say something otherwise, or tell us perhaps what numbers can what numbers can the public have if they want to speak with the police at any time, especially in cases of emergencies. We've been advocating a short code. That would be the easiest, because even an 11-digit phone number is not what anybody would remember in time of emergency. With everything happening, hearing gunshots around you, I don't think anybody would have the time to remember to start dialing 080-000033. Nobody would want to have that time. As easy as 121, 911, 8, whatever the number wants to be. But I think the police have the ability and the funds to have such a unique number that can be used by them. If banks can have it, if telecommunication companies can have short numbers, you could dial if you want to reach to them, customer service, or you want to make a complaint or anything. Why shouldn't the police? Hello, Today95.1 FM. Good evening.
Andrew.
Lawson.
The police, they are also trying. You understand? Because when you have seen police, there was a time, I think it was even the Rumokoro GP and all that, there was a call and they all went and it was an ambush and they were killed. So now the police, you have to also equip them. How well are these police officers equipped? There was a time a police officer was calling, he said not even a walkie-talkie, no phone in the north, nothing is working. Where there is nothing, the phone, no network and all that, they could not even provide a walkie-talkie or even a Turaya somehow so that they can communicate. Even the communication gadget is not there, which is one of the most important things. So when the police respond, what do they look at the Senate? Especially this 8th Senate, they will operating for themselves.
But what about here in Port Harcourt, where there's network, we have, or at least you can access areas, there's road to an extent, they have vehicles that they move around with, they are equipped with guns, whether or not you like. People, they have guns that they're equipped with, or don't they have guns?
Andrew, see, during the time of Rotimi Amechi, it was the peace he used in quelling the insecurity at the time. This police he used. Do you know why the police was able to quell it? Because he brought out the entire River State money to fight that insecurity. And so on its own, the police, he equipped the police, gave them everything they wanted. The problem was solved. Why is it that everybody is shying away from the issues? Equip this police and you will see them perform.
So you're saying the police are not equipped? Is that what you're saying?
You say?
Are you saying the police in River State are not equipped?
They are not equipped, and therefore...
Okay, let me ask, if you say they are not equipped, did the police officer tell you that, or are you a police officer to know that they aren't equipped? Because they haven't mentioned it.
Andrew, see, it's obvious now. There are some, you understand? You are...
I don't understand. Make me understand. Because you sound like you're a police officer or you're privy to this information. Because I don't know I don't have the information. I don't know.
They are always saying it. That they are not. How many times would they say it?
In River State.
He knows that police
in River State. We know the IGP complained when the Senate summoned him. No, I want us to put the facts right so we don't put out statements that would become too controversial. In the Senate, when the IGP was called upon, he complained and said poor funding, no personnel, no equipment. All right, I'm asking you, that was what he said.
Yes.
And if it's at that level, it will not be the fault of a state government at that level. But I'm asking you, in Rivers State.
No, wait. Do you know why the IG has a reason for offering that invitation by the Senate? Look at what he told them. He went because it is part of their function to ensure that they are appropriate to the police. He deliberately went there to tell them that. Since he said that, what has been their response? Since he purposely went to tell them that they are the problem. You understand? Even the Senate does know that. The IG purposely went there to say that. So some are throwing them into the problem. He has mentioned all of that. What has been the response since after the invitation? So what I am saying is that the Rivers State, they collect the security votes. All of that can be used. See, let me tell you, he's telling you that this insecurity is a creation of the politicians. And if the politicians want to solve it, they will start look at
Okay, let's take that to be your final words.
Wait to 1 minute.
We have to go. Time is already spent.
Abdul Salami handed over to Obasanjo. How was Nigeria?
Thank you.
Nigeria this insecure?
Lawson, thank you very much.
It's the creation of the politicians.
Thank you, Lawson, very much for your contribution. Our SMS portal is open. We'll be taking your text messages as well on the show. Hello to the 95.1 FM.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, you're welcome. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
I'm from Port Harcourt.
All right, go straight to the point. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just like the question you asked, the police ever said they are not equipped. And for me, I will answer no. If the last caller said that the last administration used the whole Rivers money to buy equipment or to buy weapons for the police, does it mean that the last administration went also with what they bought? Those ones they bought, are there not in place anymore? So I think the better thing we need to do is to always be positive on how to tackle insecurity. People should not be blaming things or places where they are not supposed to. If the police had been equipped before now, and before now they were acting seriously, those equipment they bought, let's throw them away.
Okay. All right, we lost that call. Well, we'll take a short commercial break. When we return, we'll wrap up on the show because we have a special interview coming up shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short commercial.
Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
Welcome back. Still your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. It is the platform on the radio. We go back to our phone lines and hear what your thoughts are before we wrap things up. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Good evening. Andrew, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, let me just rush this thing now.
Your name first, please.
My name is Chief. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
My name is Chief. This police officer, huh? Now, if you talk of equipment, this Lawson will defend. You talk of politicians, Lawson will defend. This platform is not for Lawson. Listen very carefully. Now, are we supposed to equip policemen? Why can't they either they protest for not equip them? Even though you equip them, listen to me. Let me tell you the truth. Lawson, let me tell you the fact. Give policemen, give them fear of that motor today. Go and look for that motor next week. Go and look for that motor this next week. Something happened in our streets. just let me say last month, Robert came. Call them, they did not come. After those boys that have left, they came and then they asked which road they follow. Which road they follow go? If they say they follow, they will not come. Leave that kind of thing. And we talk of on the road they are collecting money. People say some people this lawsuit will say they don't pay them well. Are we supposed to pay them? Why can't they resign or they protest or they go strike? Every time, okay, you go on the road, police collecting money. What are they doing with that money they are collecting? Are they supposed to collect money? Are we supposed to pay them? Is the road users are supposed to pay them? I don't know, even though if you go to road today, some people are paying. They are paying them $100 a month, and they will come and collect the money from them. Somebody will just go away the road to say make it. You can see $500 for them to eat, for the children to drink gari today. They will collect the money from them. So what does that mean? Why can't they resign or protest or go strike? So we know.
All right.
Thank you
very
go
much.
And see. Let the laws
Thank you very much. You made your point. Hello. Well, let's take a call. Let's take a few text messages before we wrap up in the next few minutes on the show. This one here says... Chidi says, can the last call from the caller from Bayelsa come back and tell us whether the last administration went away with all the gadgets they bought for Rivers Police Command? Chidi, this one says security matters need urgency, so calling the media is like raising alarm to protect those who may be unaware of the situation. So I don't see any reason why the police should use that as an excuse. What have they done, or how fast have they been responding to emergency calls? Noble Dikio sent in that one. But we'll wrap up here. That's the much we can take on the show. I told you we have a special interview coming up shortly. Stay tuned. Remember that the platform was a production of our news department put together by Chinedu Iwuna. Same time tomorrow, we'll do this again. My name remains Ifeemi Andrew. Bye-bye for now.
Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
All right, we have our guest with us in the studio at the moment. His name is Peter. Peter is from Virtual Betting Income. Peter, good evening and you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much.
All right, so quickly, let's get straight to the point. What is Virtual Betting Income?
Okay, Virtual Betting Income is for those punters, those who bet on football betting system, okay? There is a clue on how they can make money on virtual betting system. Okay, and this visual betting system, we all know visual is a program machine. And it has been studied for about 9 months. And we now know the clue on how the match plays and how you could get your result and make your money in every 2 minutes. This visual betting system enables you to have a residual income and alternative source of income. It doesn't matter if you are a football bettor or not. You have a good job, fine, but you still need an alternative source of income. I think this is the solution from you. I'm not here to talk that much because I know Nigerian believes in what works for them. That is why this my coming here today is to assure them that whoever is interested in making money, we have 3 kinds of people in this world. People who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who don't know that something is happening at all. This training is going to be a one-on-one training for whoever is interested. As in, we train you personally one-on-one until you are convinced that you're making money from this system. This is not any kind of a Ponzi scheme or any other thing else you can call it, but it's something that we all know. When people go out there losing money, you are at the comfort of your home making money.
So, fans, it's open to only people who are into betting. I see light stakers, heavy stakers. How does that work?
All right. we put it in two categories because we know that some persons are heavy stakers because they want to have more income. And some persons, they don't have the financial capacity to invest that much, like students and all the rest of them. I will also put them on the aspect of light stakers. You can invest as little as you can, but be rest assured that whatever your investment is, you can have more than 500% in a month. That is an assurance.
So in this training, are they going to be betting? Are they going to be involving in virtual betting, or what is going to be? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because I know what virtual betting is.
Yes.
But then from how you're coming with it, the training and monies that they can make is what we're trying to put our heads around.
All right, good question. You see, when people talks about betting, it's as if going out there to risk your money on gambling. But you must understand that there is a way of gambling and there is a way of investment. Okay. Now in this visual betting system, normally it's a football stuff. Okay, that works 100%. But to try to put it in visual, because in football stuff you get money on daily basis, but it doesn't come that far. You have to wait for 90 minutes for it to get your result, okay? So we convert it to this visual system whereby you get your money in every 2 minutes.
So which means in the game, in the virtual bet, lasts for just 2 minutes?
Yeah, just 2 minutes, you get your result and you make your money. So there's visual betting. As I told you earlier, some people, when something is designed, they just go to patronize the makers, okay? But in this case, we took about 9 months to make a research to see how this visual system works. We didn't hack any site before you begin to misunderstand me. It's a study. While people are busy betting, we are busy studying the system. So we can tell you when a match starts, we can tell you the correct score, how it will end, because it's a program machine. We have studied it. So it's a simple thing. When you come on the training, we'll show you how it works. I know Nigeria like proof. We'll show you how it works. We'll show you how everything works. And be rest assured that before whoever person will come for the training, before we leave you on the training ground, you will be convinced that you're making money.
All right, so tell us the venue and then a phone number that they can reach you on.
All right, for now, this is not a seminar, but something just to help those who want an alternative source of income. So it's a personal training. If you're interested, you can text the word "I'm in" to 090 150 63744. I repeat, 090 150 63744. Or better still, you can also call for more confirmation and inquiries on 090 150 63744. And mind you, why texting the word "I'm in"? Text the word "I'm in." For the light stickers, text the word "I'm in." Then identify light at the end of your message. Then for the heavy stickers, text the word "I'm in" heavy at the end of your message.
Okay. Give us the number again before you go.
Okay, the number is 090 150 763. Sorry, 090. I repeat, 150 63744.
One more time.
090 150 63744. Once more, before I leave, you just have to be rest assured that opportunity come but once. You might not hear this announcement again because we'll have just 3 days to teach people in Port Harcourt, after which we leave.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter, for your time.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Bits and Pieces on your premium talk and news radio, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Ifeemi Andrew. We bring you a report from Katsina State, which says a 40-year-old laborer has been remanded in prison custody for allegedly raping his neighbor's daughter. Sani Ibrahim, who reportedly carried out the act on the 7-year-old girl, is set to be facing a 1-count charge of rape. The incident was made known after Ibrahim was caught in the act by the victim's father at the same compound he lived with the victim's parents. Following the incident, the victim's father alleged that Ibrahim had at different times had unlawful carnal knowledge of his daughter while he was away. Upon arrest and interrogation, Ibrahim confessed to have had carnal knowledge of the victim 3 times before he was caught. In her ruling, the presiding magistrate Hajia Fadile Diko ordered that Ibrahim be remanded in the Katsina State Prison. And in Oyo State, the reports say a 33-year-old marriage between one Taiwo Dosumu and his wife Omolara has been dissolved by a customary court in Ibadan. Reports said the divorce became necessary following allegations of threat to life. Dosumu is said to be a businessman that accused his wife of retarding his progress and therefore approached the court on grounds that he could no longer cope with her. In her response, Omolara, who opposed the dissolution of the marriage, however, could not deny any of the allegations leveled against her, but accused her husband of abandoning her to suffer. The president of the court, Ademola Odunade, who dissolved the union in the interest of peaceful living, mandated Taiwo to pay the sum of 5,000 naira to Omolara to enable her move her belongings away from their home and also cater for their children. And from Osun State, a magistrate court is reported to have ordered the remand of a 40-year-old man in prison custody over the alleged murder of his child. Reports say Abiodun Fatomise, who had been accused of killing his 11-month-old baby, was said to have conspired with others to commit the crime. Police reports showed how the accused strangled his 11-month-old baby to death. While investigation is ongoing to ascertain the cause of his actions, the magistrate ordered that he be remanded in prison custody. And back to Lagos, a magistrate court is reported to have ordered the remand of at least 2 friends in prison custody for allegedly raping a 21-year-old woman. Reports say 25-year-old Samson Shitu and 24-year-old Ramuni Animashao allegedly conspired to gang rape the victim. The prosecuting officer, Inspector Christopher John, told the court that the defendants carried out the act at Usundeye Street, Mafoluku, in Oshodi area of the state. John said the defendants, alongside other accomplices yet to be captured, unlawfully raped a 21-year-old woman. And now, on the foreign scene, a 26-year-old maid is reported to have been arrested for allegedly stealing her employer's clothes and groceries worth $20,000. Sharon Makopa, who appeared before a Western Commonage magistrate, was said to have carried out the act in a bid to sell them and buy medication for her sick mother. After pleading guilty to the crime, Sharon begged for forgiveness, adding that she committed the crime to save her mother's life. The court heard that the accused stole groceries that include rice, bathing soap, sugar, and clothes that included children's school uniform, boys' khakis, and some T-shirts worth $21,500 and goods worth $552, which were recovered following her arrest. And that's how we conclude this edition of Bits and Pieces, produced by Sasongo Stella of the News Department. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow, have a lovely evening. I am Ifyemi Andrew.
Port Harcourt, Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
I can feel it. It's going to be big. 2 brands tested and trusted in the Nigerian entertainment industry. One World Global Records and MSN.
Coming to PH City, Oshefili Community Hall. Performing live, Two-Face, Donkey Mighty, Techno, Young Sam, Harrison, Orexi, Young Six, Godons, Abororo, Agodai, Sheilo, Kenny Black, and many more. On the wheels of steel, DJ Neptune, DJ K-Wise, and many more. Host Tombobele and Amanda. Date 26th May 2019. Red carpet 5 p.m. Main event 6 p.m. Aztec Arcom, Stedder Road, Port Harcourt. Ticket regular 2,000 naira. Table 1 million naira. Get your ticket at Port Harcourt Mall, Old Kilimanjaro Outlet, Genesis Center GRA, and www.teleafricaticket.com. For inquiries, call 0706 608 9187. Oshefili Community Hall. Supported by Hip TV, Night House Lords, Fufu Engine, Penula Events, Petrus Guards, PH Mega Fashion Show, Niger Vibes, Palm Drive, PH City Promo, Cake Market, Wise Mag Media, and Today FM.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Sai,
Hi, Dawo. Eyene kammi.
Udoma.
Avare irioko. Akauke nang. Where you reko?
Abeg.
Do. A diversion. Make we enter Today FM 95.1. And now waiting they happen. Now they happen for Parakad. Mba, cause no be.
Hey! Oh yeah, Oga Madam.
Your radio.
Time now reach for waiting they happen on top Today 95.1 FM. What God has joined together, let no finger put us on now.
You still be my brother, no matter the weather.
Oh, Juan Luciano Records again. On the beat, somebody tell Kanye West. Say boys, they chop for your money for South. The beer they go with Dalomo and Stout. What is he talking about? Oroja is dead and gone to his grave. I put the plant for his head, no be grape. Oh yeah, Thomas, sit down the dance. I say make we change them to Makosa. Say if una will over here this one, no. I say make we change them to Makosa. If una will over here this one, no. Say I be tell you, say for Cairo, touching body go there. Oh yeah, bend down. Tell J Martin say touching body go there. Oh yeah, bend down. Tell David don't say no be small go there. Oh yeah, bend down. Tell Ian say cool kere go there. Oh yeah, Ikebe no dey heavy video now. Oh yeah, bend down. Ikebe no dey heavy video now. Back like Ogosa. Oh, you say if una will over here this one, no. I say make you change them to Makosa. Oh, you if una will over here this one, no. Say I be tell you, say for Cairo, touching body go there. Oh, yeah, bend down. Oh, you tell J Martin say touching body go there. Oh, yeah, bend down. Tell David don't say no be small go there. Oh, yeah, bend down. Tell Ian say cool. Baby, no letting go. Melody, I sing go. Now she's calling me names like honey and baby, you're not see go. My shawty, I go love you today. Tell your father I'm coming to pay. The wedding go be next Saturday. Hey, baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Makosa. Say if una will over here this one, no. I say make we change them to Makosa. Makosa. If una will over here this one, no. For South, the beer they go with Dalomo and Stout. What is he talking about? Oroja is dead and gone to his grave. I put the plant for his head, no be grape. Oh yeah, Thomas, sit down the dance.
One Plus and the mix.
Okay, people of Porakod, Abasi, often Abasi, Anam. God is good. I want to welcome everybody to our evening service. This now waiting the happen Cathedral, Love Ambassadorial Ministries. My name na Funny Udeme, Afonso Sofana Bange the 30 Mark Manoko na Fiawo Obama Utom. Maybe can we get the left name after the Utom the Suwaga baby. Put your left in you put your foot stop it twice. And me corona if you ain't pass it left, you know that you left no right. Uro area fit Uyime. Oh just Utenge. No be left from be that. Oh just and put your foot stop it twice. Let me tell you something. What Dixon sings about comes out. What because Musutumbanza, meaning what goes around comes around. Carry your bottle of dummy back of it, Panusu and read oil. Sit down because you don't come to talk about and hear the word of God. Open your Bible to the book of Today, chapter 95, verse 1 FM. Now the Dickiness prophet is the Ekambama one of Today FM. The honorable doctor, the pimple on her face. Kifty, pretty, the golden Carinto, Yokinto, Rafinto, and Jerusalem, baby. Oh, Jace, I tell you, say, if you want to be a useless. Listen to this one. Be a useless usefully. So that even if you are a useless, because you're useless usefully, we still be what? Irrelevant. My name now, Dickiness. Funny Udemy. Don't say. I did with my husbandry, my Rory Pop. I'm making people of Porakod and the people of God. Say the Deacon and the Bishop elect. It is in the building, honey. Tell them say you don't come now.
All right. Porakod, anyhow, will be good evening inside this evening time. Don't reach where you don't sit down, put on top today that 5.1 FM.
Yes.
The voice of the people. Like I tell you, say you never see no miss anything happen. Say you never hear no awesome miss anything happen. Now, but God there, and they keep all of us. Quickly and wisely, this life where we live so a short while we're even short past short nigga death. Na sure bank an appointment with every man and every woman. They go keep nobody is being turn, nobody is being time, and you know if you jump and pass sin. Now him be the cause of the death. Jesus Christ now be the only cure. Make you carry your life, make it give Papa God there. Because any life without said Christ, they full of crisis. I still remember my humble self. It's a buru one of today. 95.1 FM. Pastor talking drum, the Lord of the mic. The Banye. I am better in the studio.
Okay, people of Porakod, listen. Anye, now they tell you. Let's listen to this song. Say for marry me, thanking for number what it don't say that. People of Porakod, we don't come now with the word of God, where the Samaju from Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. We are the Laugh Ambassadorial, oh, Jace. Honey, they said this one for Imo State, eh? They said the deputy governor of Imo State, House of a Assembly, eh? Ukonna, Ozurigbo, he don't receive resignation. The deputy speaker in contender in resignation letter today, which the contact saying personally in sign am, eh? Okay, which was a personally signative by him, in sign and by himself, can address them to the speaker and members of the State House of a Assembly. Also, Rigbo, he can explain, say, for the letter, say, in the resignation to enable himself to function well as a member elect of the National House of Representative. Praise the Lord. In the fourth ranks, they call from the third, say, in resignation, come less than 24 hours after 21 out of the 27 state lawmakers save impeachment notices on the speaker. Actually, him and the majority leader look at Osuyi after suspending them. So that means this man now maybe don't see the future. Say he so in get to bring his own face before anything could happen. He say the thing, this one where this level way in there, you know, like I'm say the other level now where one go for now. Yeah, ain't gonna make him ego operation well as a very very ludicrous. Honey, how you see the mattress now? Because now on his own now carry the letter say he want to that position that we want to enter another level of operative that is going to make him function well, because this one way in there before, you know, they make him function well. Honey, how you see the mattress now? Talk to me.
Well, politicians and
just now
all of them now greedy people. Nothing where any politician go do today we go they me surprise or anything, and we go I feel saying the drum because of the people or anything. This one they talk say this thing will make them
function well.
Function well for who? For in pockets or because industry say they want to impeach the speaker and maybe in no save the impeach the speaker it will affect them. So he decide to go join the remaining people, betray the speaker way here and they work so and they come they talk say one function well. Well, politicians so the same people, all of them are the same. So me I know the matter no they surprise me. But now waiting any of them go feed do. If after all said and done, some people now don't they come back to PDP or inside River State, and some people quite don't they go back to APC or people and I leave them. All these people, all of them are the same thing. Now we sometimes are they blame. I know they blame these people because anywhere where you see politician put head. If nothing they there to benefit, I no go put her there and lie. No be for the masses, not for their own pockets. So we'll make the man, in fact, die in resignation, make keep on to himself. I don't even care. I bloody don't care.
You don't care about. See, honey, you see the way I put the question here, Because you know, say now this man talks say he want to lift this level to another higher level. Now make you follow waiting in talk, Now the question now why they ask people now, which work where you don't do, we don't stress you before. We make you take decision to find another
you
work.
just live and run.
Yes, and the one where you get now, it a favor you. You get my point, because honey, the way the man they talk now, even I said this one go favor am.
This is the way they ask now.
Just now, you don't know what the people. I know say get some people will say no, honey. You know say it get some people will say don't come up for where they work.
Just okay.
Sometimes so if you favor them.
Okay, wait now. Imagine where if it go come call us now.
Why they can't call the kitty for this kind one now?
They give you example.
How you call this a mass amplify now?
Okay, Mbalifa.
Oh, you have to talk to me now.
Just check
no, fire down.
Where you kitty now go come call us now? What do you expect me to kitty tell you now?
Say maybe.
So that you motor the favor.
I don't know. He don't okay.
You see,
even me, I hope for
Moko even okay, Moko come off from Bikiti. Okay, imagine Moko assume now say somebody like Bobrisky. Bobrisky call us now. Ain't go tell you say to be woman the favor.
So you that thing, they make noise. It's a blood.
It's
a noise maker.
So it even cost him work.
Before you work, not a pay. You know, saying go give $500,000 $500,000 to person.
See I'm now.
He run when the person come online, come put down say Bobrisky don't play waju. You dey see him now. I tell you.
So that's that one. So check on now. I'm going to give you another example.
Talk to me, my
the one time I say like all this based on the people where they stand for road for GRA.
Sometimes you know they favor them.
So you get plenty to count now. So but Moko see here people.
No. I guess your point them
because the way they country they now. Even families don't know they favor some people.
It's true too.
People want change family.
I tell you because so if Tontorike can change from that in husbandry, they wish for another man.
Go back,
because see when you see woman they cost man up and down, you know say she they miss that man.
You won't even go back to the man. That Tonto.
This my sister. This my colleague. She know they try and turn.
That name. I don't talk.
No be name Biraro. Maybe na name na Chitru. You just can't change them to Tonto.
I don't talk. Say that name. That name na
Name
the worry people. Name the worry people.
And you know some people they just grow up carry another name keep themselves.
Name the worry people. But watch it before you give.
I tell you the truth. People of Paracord, see that is the first mattress, Only the second mattress, You know, say some people, like me, I know be this kind of person where they do safe medication. You know me very well, honey.
Okay.
Jace. Now, it get one woman, she says she know they call for, she know they will fit waste time.
To go hospital.
Jace, to go hospital. Or to go do, or to go they run test, Say, it can say in the body they do, I'm saying to run test, to check what's up. Say no get that time to go to do all those things. Say because he know the way God creation and he know the way in body they do am. If in they sick, in they know. If in about to sick, in they know. And the thing don't serious, he they know. So now she can't talk say this thing now wastage of money before you can go do blood test, can get result, can look for money again to go to buy medicine. Then the sickness can they high on a high standard. You can't go look for money again to come take injection and rip. Instead okay that time say you know the way in body they function now. Say if in time say in joint they pain them or in body they hot inside or in eye they swallow up. In the nose and malaria pe that
one.
No
go waste time die too.
Yes,
the death she don't waste time.
He don't sign in dead warrant because that one her own depression.
No go
lead to her date.
You know why?
Depression they
make her sound this thing clear. Make her sound this thing clear. See, anywhere where you did, they hear my voice this evening. See, take it or leave it. The same God will give you divine health. Now, create medicine.
Now give people where do that medicine, give them wisdom.
Now the same God now he create medicine. So whether you like it or not, that's 100% surety about divine health.
You speak English. You say
yes. Yes, so that they will know that this man talking here.
You say what is
surety?
What is surety?
That's guaranteed.
Hey, honey, na lie.
Guaranteed.
Why you dey lie like this? Shorty na short nick.
No, not short. Not short. I didn't mean short. Shorty. Shorty.
I know like this in the room.
Repeat after me. Shorty.
Shunty.
Shorty.
Shunty.
That is guaranteed.
I dey get that one now.
So in as much as divine health they guaranteed, my brother, medicine is also much more guaranteed. Okay, the same God will bring healing and bring
some
medicine.
women they face now they cause you now say they waste your time.
No, that's the problem.
Some people they face now.
That's the problem. Everybody they find they form divine health, they form faith. You go down die like
I am healed by the blood of Jesus.
Okay.
Even the blood of Jesus says, he said the Bible say faith without work. That is the book of Ruth chapter 5 verse 7.
Every day now, this Ruth chapter 5 verse 7. Every day Ruth chapter 5 verse 7. He supply your need according to riches and glory. Now see Ruth chapter 5 verse 7.
Chapter 5 is 1.
That's what I Philemon. God.
Oh, no, I don't like the way they do me.
Everything where they put for Bible. Now Ruth chapter 5 verse 7. Ruth chapter 5 verse 7.
Are you not a pastor?
Please, tomorrow, what will Ruth chapter 5 verse 7 say?
Don't worry, the Lord will revelation to me. Honey, but you know something they disgrace you. You know say me everything that they tell you not truthful. Are you not a pastor?
Now carry your Bible, go.
Honey, not be the same Bible we read.
No, I doubt.
Honey?
Feel like this is your Bible. Now quite about people right.
Honey, I don't like this thing you they tell you.
Every day when you come here, Ruth chapter 5 verse 7, I go keep quiet, you go talk. Go Ruth chapter 5 verse 7, I go keep quiet, you go talk. Even we are in Jeddah, they're going to invest for me. So they allow you, they confuse people. Ruth chapter 5, every day, Ruth chapter 5 verse 7. They talk everything
Honey,
they want to talk.
Oh, yeah, talk to me. Which chapter talk that one?
Now only Ruth today Bible. Now what are they asking?
Oh, yeah, Naomi chapter 2.
Naomi?
Yes.
No problem. I go take them if now wait you talk. No problem. Naomi chapter 2 verse waiting.
Verse 14.
No, you correct.
I get them.
And you get them.
Honey, the way they put your eye, the way they keep eye.
They call
I don't study you. When you did not say I don't do something, I talk with you.
Call another chapter. You don't worry Ruth.
Okay, man.
One woman they answer Ruth from my area.
Only waiting now.
You don't finish the woman inside Bible. And the woman herself, not they see herself inside Bible. Now the problem. Every day we come here, they call the woman name. Ruth chapter 2.
Okay, Malachi chapter 5.
That one not Malachi. Amarachi.
Oh, they don't like what's in the room.
Amarachi chapter 2 verse 5.
More go for this short time and we come.
You and who?
I don't like ma play this time. Ma get myself because you don't make me not wrong.
You don't like.
I know if
go short time.
Ma go short time.
Now this short time.
Ma come for this short time. And they come back.
Na family they call your business therefore where motor no they reach or where keke no fit enter. Even if your business they inside and hole, we go help you carry and put for spotlight where everybody go fit reach you with just chicken money. 3,000 naira, 3,000 naira, 3,000 naira. Only you fit make the whole world sabi wetin you they do, where you they do am, and how then go take look at you to do business with you. Or ya halele make you call 080-3466-3771. I repeat him again, 080.
What kind of a man? Only they see your brotherhood.
I don't know, Abu.
You don't know, but now in the crit, they crit you.
I don't know. Is my name Peter? Is my name Peter? I would like to deny you.
No, we like where we there. Leave my husband alone now.
I know where you live.
Let me tell you, I don't pack from that side.
I lie, you never pack.
You know, if me and my road we no good. Thankful.
The work while I don't see run before.
Hey, now I ask you.
You get when my motor no good and I lost my job. My wife get better. So I got to know where to walk my motor. So now you get one that way our former governor in the B school. So I come to highlight the contractor. Say people like go there, they can't do from outside they come. Now the man say, I no talking time. Say job waiting na to dig soccer will.
Chinekele.
Now I said, okay, no problem. Make him bring the job so we go down. Now the man pay half of the money. My brother, you know when I go dig the thing? Now for midnight, around 12 now I will start to work. Make people know see me. There's some big boy where I be.
Just now.
So I don't think this is 2 days. The next day, the man come, I feel like they still come here and offer me for that job again. I go arrest them. That's why I leave the top front, though, because the work they hard. Like the only work what I don't do where they hard for me while I live from.
Suck away.
And since I was born, like the hardest job what I don't do so far. Since that night till today, I don't ever try and pastor.
It is well with you. Thankful, my brotherhood.
So you know if you dig suck away, but they do something with the enter inside.
Just now, honey, what is that? Is that it? Honey, what is that?
God,
honey, which thing be that? Which thing be that now?
What do you mean? I don't call that on radio.
So you want to come and spoilish me? The blood of cheese says. If cheese says.
They do it to the enter suck away. No, if you did that.
Honey, leave me alone. Hello?
Yeah, Uden.
Oh, Jess?
Something
of his very thing at all. Memorandum.
No, go spare him, go school.
Oh, now headmaster,
your voice sound like your friend, oh no.
Jess, now the transfer of spirit now.
Now headmaster, make I spell am.
Spell am now. I can check my book. Wait, first, go back to beginning again.
M-E. M-O.
What do you mean by Emu?
I say M-E, M-O.
He don't correct himself.
N-E.
M-E. M-O. R-A-N. D-U-M.
Say that, honey, get them. Get them.
In the look book.
No, only with the name headmaster. That means you don't.
In the look book.
Book don't kill him. Way.
In the look book. How go take no now? Who go tell us now say no look book? I want take no. In the look book.
Maybe don't call in children. See, you win the recharge card.
If na that one, if since that's memorandum. I spell kukuruku.
I only one kid is mine. An old man.
Old man, I never feel spell that one.
You go get high blood pressure now. Okay, headmaster, wait now, ma pay this recharge card on. Waiting your number stop with your last two number.
85.
I have send your name, to our text message. Your number stop with
85. Yes, 85.
I have send your name, Send your name to the. No send another person name or another person number. That number where you call now, send them. And when you recharge the card, make I know too. Send them to our text message so that I will send you the recharge card and the name of the Lord will be glorified. Praise the Lord.
Udeme.
Oh, Jess.
I put my for that mattress small.
Put my.
That woman will say, they go for medical checkup.
Jess.
They call me, I never enter hospital one day. They never put me through.
Oh, Jess.
I never enter hospital. All this route where our papa get for grant.
Honey, I think they hear route again. You go say I don't do the call route. I they hear you. You don't accusation me say I know the allow route race.
Nothing way they cure. I never enter hospital. I never put the cream for my body. So people will get money for me. I never go, and I no go feel go. Thank you.
Thankful, okay, make we enter the next person. Hello. Good evening, Abamu.
Good evening, Pastor.
Oh yeah,
Pastor, good evening, sir.
Market switch today. The way in voice they sang here. Say.
Pastor. This is memorandum. I don't understand.
Is it memorandum? Now wait now.
This is our friend here. Grandma not the near this side.
Now plastic rubber and aluminium cup. Then they rain for that other side.
Anything English will not be like this one when they speak. You know they near this.
You see, I'm not big headmaster and spell them now. Memorandum now. You don't win the recharge card.
Why you can't bring this one out to try this our program now?
But what is your memorandum? That is the question here.
Oh, you not try. You are pastor. You did there. When this thing they happen, you not talk.
What's in my husband the corona?
They spoil this our program. You not talk. You leave us.
No, nah, for the fun.
Okay.
This added fun.
Okay. Make we forgive him now.
No problem.
I beg you, next time, not bring something like this to come here again.
So that you know go.
Not the boutique at this one. When you carry come here.
You go open your dictionary and check. Be a update.
We know they use dictionary now. Today 95.1 verse 1. And I will be
open. That is the Bible. If you open the Bible, check Ruth chapter 5 verse 7. You will see memorandum there. when Ruth had a memorandum from the Lord.
Pastor.
Only why the relaxation the tire for me now?
They go this thing. Those people, person when not sabi waiting there, and they follow politicians, my brother.
Okay.
You see what they do us for Abana?
What do they do now?
They campaign. And they tell you now, I want to tell you now.
Okay.
Told us.
When they campaign, they say make it can they work. Even if they keep on saying they go, that they know when they go stop. Because they campaign, they just finish election and they never said they take a can at 7 o'clock now.
You mean
If they come back home now from 7, not go see Kaka again. You know they say I'm again. Make you know how politician be. When they campaign, say make Kaka they work. If in a like in a work reach 12, no problem.
But that one not be a good thing. A good thing now, because waiting. No. He gets his own advantage and get disadvantage. Moko no lie. Moko because you know say me. I go tell you as it be. Now, waiting Keke people they do lately now, they're very, very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Very
most of all the snatching and robbery and everything where they happen now. Keke people they at least 30 to 40 to 50% involved inside. So if they stop them that early, maybe not to checkmate this crime part of the Keke. I'm not sure saying that really for the bad. Though I don't talk about politicians, so I don't talk between me and you now as brother. You understand? So because I don't say anything decision when they take, no be to help us. Moko come out joke. So but if they stop Keke, I think it still somehow get his own advantage in as much as he gets disadvantage. Now say it be.
For the other one, the woman went say not they go hospital.
Yeah.
When last you go hospital for checkup?
This man know they call now. No, that's only the stand.
I know what you see for dream.
Now
person went dream. Now only me Nebuchadnezzar and the Pharaoh not know what you see for dream.
I think when I talk my own, you go to shout for me. I think you don't hear this man now. Cost time.
Nebuchadnezzar kwa Pharaoh.
Your time don't reach.
What's in Nebuchadnezzar? And Pharaoh find go here.
God forbid, Eric can catch it. Eric can catch it. Only I beg check, make I clean my brain. Check, me now get this message. Me I get this message for you. I beg, make me a command this thing for my head. We ain't gonna give me. We get any message.
People don't spell memorandum here before. What's it be name? So how you go do up?
No, person we go call.
Okay,
yes, no be text message.
This one say, good evening. Udeme, waiting.
You know they see the grammatical.
Okay. Say they talk about the book of Ruth, but leave that one. May Ruth day own, may you do your own. Good evening, presenters. The man should have resigned before now because he knew that the current government will soon hand over to incoming government. Obuneke, Sunday, or Moma, they can't spell the thing. No be this one that people they spell. People spell text message. Go back credit so that you can call. Call. Okay. Now already here for now. That's just
okay. Just
go type A.
Not gonna say if you want to see make a clear this thing, anybody now talk say no, I not talk say text message that you go come get them. I say if you call and you get the questionnaire what I get for you to win my recharge card and you get them, I'm going to send you a recharge card through the WhatsApp and text message. I wasn't going to hold it back. So if you send text message, I no coffee attendance to you. Not only when you call for the show, told me waiting I ask questionnaire you, I'm gonna send you the recharge card. Praise the Lord. Let us enter call and hear from country people. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good
evening. How many voice you get?
We have voice.
Now woman voice I feel see before you come talk now. What's in your name?
My name is choose calling from the UK.
Okay, now that place. Now just talk, no problem.
Hello.
We the year you see a network not the worry now. We the year.
Go buy China phone.
You
say what you?
The question.
The question.
The question. The question.
Okay, for the mattress.
The spelling. Yes.
Only attendance to him.
Attendance
to him.
They hear me. Please, don't use China phone again, please. If they carry you, go back.
You see, answer the question. Big.
Yeah. Check it out, yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Good evening.
Hey, man. Good evening.
Hey.
Good evening.
Evening, no.
Blessing. Oh, yeah, blessing. Where you they stay?
They stay for
Town. Okay, just put mat for the mattress.
I don't have the mattress, but I have to make it first.
No, that time don't pass. Person we don't spell and don't get them now. Don't give them my recharge card. Only one now. Check this woman, eh? So I think if a woman, Abby, don't want us now. If now quite one person, you don't get time. You don't go to call collect recharge card. Say, this woman, you know, go keep person. Hello, this one don't disconnect. Only we get any text message for you.
No.
Okay, we never get. Okay, in case you also on the mattress. This now waiting they happen. The first mattress now, a man where say want to come out for House of Assembly, enter another position. Say that one I go make him function well, one of the top men for power. Hey. But the questionnaire they ask now, say which one? What's happened?
No, Malam Inua Man Shandara.
You don't tell witnesses now.
And then whether now on Monday or so, now I actually think about you, Che. He has been sick for months.
What you do now?
Oh, okay, don't worry. After now, we'll get to you. Okay, Menike don't send a number or so. So Malam Inua, don't worry. After now, we'll get to you.
Okay. Okay. Now the question here they ask now, which work where you don't do, where don't stress you before, where can make you to take decision, say you go find another job. That is the first question here. And the work where you can now, if they favor you, like now, following that man talk now, you get any work where we say, don't say, I want to do this one. You can't do what they do now. It favor you comparings to the first one where you live, say, doesn't want to do. And the second one, now one woman will say, in no go effort for in lifetime, go hospitality, say they go run taste, or they go collect them blood, say want to run malaria or typhoid taste. Say, the way we call creation, in get this spiritual gift and endowment. Say even if I in the sick, in the feel like say they sick, in no the drug where you could take. Say no get that time to go they wastage money, they go run taste, they collect medicine and all that stuff. So you're going to tell me now whether safe medication or going to hospitality, which one we could pass? But that the one where this woman talk, you they follow one too. Because he says since from any down they crow, they service something. Now in corner say so God take place. So make you put mat for the mattress. 0817 0000 951 0810 9510 951. WhatsApp and text message. Send it twice to 070 1933962. Make we enter phone call there from country people. This one on this connection. Okay, make we try this other one. Hello.
Hello, that's
Oh, just good evening, sir.
I'm in Corona now.
I didn't know what thing happen now. You don't call now. You see, why not? What does he have for me?
Now you know that one. Pastor. Pastor.
Now.
Let's get again now.
I'm okay. I got you.
This mattress, what we say, work, what person don't do, we don't stress them before.
Jace.
And I know you from Omoba.
I know you.
We know you have been through a lot. Tell us.
So work again when I've been there community those days, the one with the hustle now. I can't follow this my people the way they go. You know, Pastor, you know this work where they call Bukram now. So one man going to do that for in new sites. So boys come the rush now to the uproot every storm and
so that they go dig foundation.
So up to 3 palm tree come there and I can't rush and I can't collect 1 palm tree to fall and now for the site now.
Chinekele. A palm tree come foul you finally.
I don't know the root of palm tree strong like that. Just like the man, no say that root where in the car strong everywhere.
I didn't tell you.
So I use 5 days and for 1 palm tree. Now pastor As I fall and finish, I did for hospital more than 2 weeks.
This is not you don't be man, you don't get strength.
He's a woman man. He's a woman man.
I don't decide this kind of hustle. I don't go hustle.
You don't go hustle again. Anyway, see palm tree, you go forward.
You know, if you see palm, you don't run. Lift the tree.
Your wife
I know she here. We know now. I want something. We know. Don't worry.
That woman waking me go hospital again. Did I go before? Maybe in the get lock or maybe you need to work for everybody.
Okay.
You get people who say if they come up for hospital for 1 month like this, I ain't going to reach that announcement.
I tell you.
But if they work for you, they're making continue like that. You need to work for everybody. So I know that advise your wife or you to try them.
Okay, all right.
So what do your wife is make we spell that? I'm making you my own make us happy.
What you want spell? You know get this say, hey man, you don't know book. Don't
you know
worry.
even go school.
You don't know book. Yeah, this for book people.
I've been there. Open my data. I can't spell mama.
You say mama. Then try to make a lay.
You read my own make us spell.
If that's the case, now since you hear mama, go kana.
Make us spell go kana. Na G-O.
G-O. G-L-K-O.
Go kona.
L-O.
Gokolo.
L-A. That's G-O-K-O-L-A.
Gokola.
G-O-K-A-N-A.
Okay, G-O-K-A-N-A. We'll go 5 person away from there. We'll go check whether you're correct.
Yes, go 5 person, get back to us.
My number for the result card.
Let me say you don't know how to spell Bukana. Come out here.
Okay, we'll play this. We'll go for this short program. We're going to come back after this short market. We're going to coast no way. This now waiting there happen.
Port Harcourt, Bud X Bars is here. 15 bars, 5 weeks with the kings of the turntables. DJ Consequence, DJ Nana, DJ E Cool, and DJ Crowd Controller. Experience epic parties every weekend from the 3rd of May. Follow at Budweiser Nigeria for updates. Be a king.
Okay, make winter phone call from country people. Hello?
Hello.
Good evening.
No, I don't call tire.
Say, who you arrested?
Yeah, they cool.
Say, who you arrested now? No, that's my language.
Which language? We were divided in Korea and Akwa.
Forget about now. You know, we
remember about.
Don't forget about it.
So, about that woman.
What's in your name, face?
My name is CJ.
See ye. Welcome.
Yeah, what? That woman will say, you know, they go hospital. What is making good dream medicine?
In saying in get God, we give to a God, give them. When they use the disabling, we body the pain or not, you go for the right medicine and you go there all right.
You go for it. Why you go take medicine? Why go there and make him just day?
You say na gift, God give them.
I beg you, that thing.
The way they sound safe, they sound hospital.
I tell you.
They hospital.
No, I sound for work what I don't do.
We no fair for you.
Go line now. Oh yeah.
You favor me. See, about all this work, we say every person they talk say I work this one, it pay me. It depends.
Okay.
You go there where you go there. You know, see ordinary water drink.
By force, you go do that kind of work.
You go must do them.
And you go get strength do them.
Where you just finish, you go chop food. That food where you chop will become medicine.
Side out.
I'm telling you. Read that thing. Now.
No, we are
quiet, man.
No, they are riff that.
My brotherhood,
we don't riff you. Continue.
I say, now, based on your situation.
Yes, so you are quite about not speak grammar.
No, say we can level.
Somebody go say, I don't like to stay for water side. When you come for street for house, water side will become GRA for you.
Chidekele.
And I tell you.
You don't mean it.
Say, don't mean it.
they take medicine.
Yes. Go back there.
By the time when you see, go to say, take question and then.
Iyo. Yes.
This is what is the sickness? The one where you come for your body na sicky.
Na sicky. Oh, remain sickness never come.
Is it double sicky or triple sicky?
3 now.
When that one na sicky, when sickiness come.
Sickness.
This is very, very serious.
That time, na stretcher they will use carry am.
Now what is?
Stretcher.
But Jesse, sorry, CJ. Jesse, CJ, bye bye. We have tried. Thank you, my brother.
Only get anybody with a do birthday today.
Oh, which kind of birthday talk about this one now?
You know, you go talk tonight. Don't forget the person name now.
Yes, now.
I think you don't every time. Which spirit they possess you sometimes? We go to forget people their name, and they go to fix for you now.
Oh.
Now so you call that woman, the husband rename daddy. When they wish a happy birthday.
Oh God.
I think you don't see him now.